go ahead and kick it off for us.
All right. So, Hippie, myself, and Morn hopped through the portal. I immediately started rushing towards the giant beast lady thing, hoping to get past her. Hippie grabbed me by the shoulder and told me that I needed to go hold open the portal for the others to escape. As she grabbed me, the beast lady creature thing let out a shriek and tendrils popped out from everywhere, slamming into the different team members. It was actually quite horrific. Uh Abby or Malin went down. Matty, it looked like he dodged it successfully, but it looked like it took Smalls out. And Morn successfully hid a couple of people behind her fog, so they avoided catastrophe. When I got to the portal, I took all my strength to hold the portal open. Morb was firing off shots from the behind it, and Hippie started encouraging all of us to run towards the portal. The beast lady thing once again lashed out, striking Malin. She hit the ground really hard. It almost looked like she cracked. I don't. It looked bad. Maddie saw that and suddenly just lost any semblance of humanity. Portals opened up. Black hands reached out. He turned into a giant winged beast, and then everyone started running. Don't know what was wrong with him. He seemed not all there. But he started lashing out at anything that got near him. He swiped at Hippie, he got a good chunk out of her. But when he did that, the portal faltered just slightly, which at that point I realized it was being held open by my strength and Hippie's will alone. Several of our team hopped through the portal. Drew and Morb seemed like they wanted to hesitate, and I almost wish they stayed with me. Morb was giving me a look. I couldn't really describe it. His face is not very expressive, but there were bubbles. So I think he was debating whether or not to stay, but ultimately he went through the portal. Maddie was still violently attacking everything. Before I let go of the portal, a dark, sinister voice was whispering to me. I don't know where it came from. I do believe it was a wizard. After all this time, I had been hunting. I have been searching for a wizard, and this one happened to be evil. So he was not going to satisfy anything I needed. But just as I was holding the portal open, Small grabbed Malin, who was hurting, and charged through the portal. As soon as they made it through the portal, it shut. When I looked over, Maddie was holding Hippie's lifeless body. It looked like he twisted her neck almost completely off of her head. And then he just disregarded her corpse. I knew this was going to be a problem. The portal was closed, and it was just me and Maddie. I tried to reason with him, and he just violently attacked, and violence seemed to be the only solution at that point in time. I pulled out my axe, and we battled valiantly. He's biting, clawing, tearing. I used my shield to fend him off. At one point in time, he seemed to back away like he was running from us. He almost yelled something, but I couldn't understand what it was. But on a moment, he was instantly attacking again. Claws, teeth. I fought valiantly. Unfortunately, I got careless. One of his swipes hit just a little bit too deep, a little bit too hard. As I was falling to the ground, Matty was howling and in rage. I thought he was going to just pummel me, but he seemed distracted. I was hoping I could get through to him. Unfortunately, I didn't have much to say. The wound was just too deep, and I just lost all breath. I did want to tell him something. I desperately wanted to tell him something. Unfortunately, all that came out is, "You idiot," which was rightly deserving. Right after that, everything seemed to go black. I hope the others make it okay. That's all I got.
Thank you, John, for the memories of all the drum caps, drum recaps, drumisms, everything that we'll have memories of each session to come. I hope Drum went to a place that he was at least satisfied. With that, we're going to pick up right there. It's shortly after the battle. All of the rest of you have managed to successfully escape through the portal, and you're back at camp where you all began. The beetle's there, Lucky's there. Ingus immediately goes back over and starts tending to the beetle and taking stock of everything that he had left, which wasn't much. Without his wagon, he's basically carrying everything that he owns, but he goes and starts tending to his beast as he always does. Lucky's just kind of sitting off on the edge of camp as he always did there for a while, lifts his head every once in a while and cocks to the side, and his ears perk up a little bit as if he's listening for someone, maybe looking for someone. Doesn't seem like he sees what he's looking for, though, and just kind of puts his head back down. Some of you have already taken a long rest, but we're actually going to pick up just before the end of this first day, and it's evening. You guys are kind of nursing your wounds, getting bedded back down. You don't know where you are, other than you're back at camp. You've lost your guide. Anybody that could have truly navigated your way through the Endless Acre Wood without any kind of issue, they didn't make it back through the portal with you. As you all begin to kind of take and realize the severity of your situation, some of you start taking stock of your situation in terms of supplies and talking amongst yourselves about what you're going to do. Before everybody, if you've already taken your long rest, that's fine. Those of you that haven't, hold off, and we're going to go ahead and pick up right here in camp. Who wants to start? I'll just remind everybody that Drum is no longer here, and neither is Matty. Ellie, I know you were beginning to play your pan flute and try to calm your nerves a little bit as you got back, and everybody started listening to music. You had rolled a very nice, I think, dirty 20 on your performance. You started to recall that music, that song that you remember from your childhood. And despite your lack of apparent skill with your pan flute, it came through very clearly. Just the right time.
Yeah.
That's turning over to the rest of the group. Take us away.
I think I was trying to go up to Argus and be like, hey, we gotta figure out rations and things.
I believe that is where we were at. And well, we have 3 days of rations total amongst everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Which technically 2, because we are pretty much worth shit right now without a long rest.
Looks like it.
So
DM, as a player, since Mark hasn't been able to come in yet, Mark did have an idea for the group.
Sure.
Mark's character, I guess, wanted to, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I was trying to look up the notes and see what we all wanted to do, but we wanted to, they're saying
I believe it's
doing the one jobs, and everyone wanted to do the jobs. Mark wanted to try and see if we could meander our ropes and tie them and find a way so we can have a better advantage on basically covering like between 150 to 450 feet of movement without losing track of camp for those that can go hunt and hunter-gatherer. And I think the plan was Argus, of course, would cook. Handler would be Ingus. We don't really need to scout if we're all together. We just need people to hold on to the rope, whoever wanted to scout. But it would be hunter-gatherer would be Morn and Ellie, and then lookout would be a Morb and Argus situation.
Okay.
We have the exhaustion, but I don't know if it's DM discretion. It's like
Your
that's the
exhaustion
base,
levels,
though.
yeah, it's like if you had exhaustion levels, then yes, that's going to play into account if you guys want to try and hunt tonight before you take a long rest. It depends on how many lengths of rope you want to try and tie together to try and distance yourself far enough away from camp that you can try and find something, see something, hunt something. I'm going to say I'll allow each length of rope to give you 40 feet because you still have to tie off knots and rope, knots enough to where it's not going to come loose. You end up 400 feet from camp and lose sight, and then the rope comes loose. I'll allow 40 feet per length of rope you want to use, and we can see what survival does for you.
Can I roll a perception check?
Sure. Roll a perception check.
Oh, that wasn't good. It was an 8.
Hey, what are you looking for on an 8? What are you trying to do?
Just listening to hear if I hear anything familiar, because we're not far from, well, we don't know how far we are from Last Hearth.
Yeah, you've been traveling for days already from what you can possibly remember. Hippie had led you guys into the woods, but you remember that it taken you about a day from the road, the main highway that you were on, to get to where Last Hearth was. But you also remember that time had kind of played with your heads a little bit. Some of you experienced a day, some of you experienced a few hours, some of you experienced a couple of days, day and night cycle.
Yeah, so that was kind of like why I wanted a perception check to see if anything sounded familiar.
Just the sound of the forest. Not on an 8.
I want to ask the group if they would mind if I could just send a message out into the woods saying that Hippie's gone and we need help? Or do you think that would make us too vulnerable? Because it has a 120-foot radius.
What ability or spell are you using there?
Message.
Oh, message is you're sending a message directly to somebody that you can see. It doesn't work like a radar beacon.
What? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I just wanted to send out a radar. Help, help, help. All right.
Doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh, Smalls is here. So what's everybody want to do?
What's up?
Hello.
Yay.
They had talked about your plan about tying rope off and stuff. Or
Yeah.
what you guys want to do for the first night.
Ah. Did I see in the group chat that there is that we did get a long rest?
Technically, we're at the night. We're still at the first. You guys have just escaped the battle. You're back at camp, gathering yourself, seeing where you stand with supplies. So if you've taken a long rest, that's fine. If you haven't, hold off because we're trying to figure out what you want to do for the first night. You guys want to try this plan to try and go out and hunt something, scavenge something, tying off a rope. What do you want to do?
Well, we have rations.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have enough rations for 3 days.
Yeah, so we have a night of rations, and then we can wake in the morning and then put a game plan together because so many people are exhausted and hurt. Maybe that would be the best thing to do.
Okay.
That's just Ellie's thoughts.
I'd tell you Smalls would agree with that one, but that's because he is on the verge of just passing out.
Your
From-
cook also agrees with this. Y'all ain't worth a shit right now without some rest.
Absolutely.
All right. Is everybody in agreement? You're going to take this first night to kind of just rest up and gather your senses in the morning?
Kind of figure out what the hell happened.
That's all we can do, I think.
Okay. Then for the sake of like where you guys stand, go ahead and everybody take a long rest. Redact redact the number of rations. Basically, you have 3 days worth of rations. Now you're down to 2. So redact that from your total rations. You have enough to feed everybody in the group that needs to be fed and the beetle. You're down to 2 days.
And that's with
Right.
all the rations. So
That's with everything that you guys had gathered, that you had on your persons, without hunting, without foraging, without trying to do something else. That is what you had on your persons.
okay, because I have 10 rations. I think we already said how much, right? So we just redact that.
It's whatever you guys have decided for your total. I believe it was like Wales. I believe
It's
you
in
had
the
a total.
notes.
Yeah, you guys need to figure it out. But to go from your grand total redacted, you have enough now for 2 days.
Yeah, we'll do some math when we take a break, real quick for everyone.
Okay.
For those
Okay.
of you
I
math.
was gonna say I've got 7 rations, so I have no idea how much to
Yeah,
take
we'll
apart.
do the
So
math real quick later
Yeah.
when we got a few downtime. Well, we got everyone here.
For my 10, I think I already said I would do. So my 10 are in there.
Figure out. You guys can figure out the math later. But you're down to 2 days worth of rations for everybody without having
2 days worth. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep a tab on that real quick.
Is there any conversations you all? Like I said, you guys have. What are you guys doing for like watches and stuff? Are you guys? Argus, I assume you're cooking. Are you wanting to? Who's wanting to keep lookout? What do you guys want to do here?
I'll keep a lookout for the first watch.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that check. You do 1 lookout.
And that's perception, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So Ellie can do the second watch because she only has to transfer 4 hours. So
So go ahead and
13.
roll me it. 13. Okay, Ellie, go ahead and roll me another perception check then. Look like the average of the 2.
It'll be perception or stealth, Ellie. I don't know which one's better for you.
Yeah.
let's see. Perception. That's a nat 20.
Okay. Very
So
nice.
23 total.
All right. Nice. Between those, on a nat 20, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys like a dirty 20 on that. I will honor the nat 20. Ellie, you were trying to listen to the forest and just trying to get a gauge of where you were on here. You do in the night, in the dead silence, once everybody is finally asleep on a nat 20, you do hear rushing water off to the north. What you can gauge is probably north. And on your nat 20, I would say that you go up and you mark a tree in the direction that you heard the water coming from. So just in case the next morning something happens or something shifts, like how this forest messes. So I'd say on a nat 20, you go ahead and mark a tree with a giant X or something to mark with the direction that you heard the water from.
Right. I have a yeah. I actually have weaver's tool, so I'm just going to tie a piece of fabric like a flag.
Okay, perfect. You mark the tree off in the north, the direction you heard the water from. I'm going to say this though, Malin.
Yes.
You have 3 points of exhaustion, right?
Mm-hmm.
While your body begins to heal, you can feel the wounds and whatnot on your back closing as you sleep through the night. You don't feel any rest than you did, though. Those 3 levels of exhaustion remain. There is something happening to you right now that is not allowing your body to recover.
Okay.
Any conversations? Anybody want to be doing anything or saying anything?
Your dog needs attention.
What was that, Marshall?
Any
last part.
conversations? Conversations? Anything anybody wants to be doing or saying during this long rest before the next morning? Okay. You all awaken the next morning. Ellie, you took that last watch, and as you had tied that ribbon or tied that flag around that tree, you remember you would hear the water coming from the north. The very next morning, though, that same tree that you had tied around is now the direct opposite direction of what you thought. It's now in the sea. Well, you remember that you would mark that tree. That is the
Yes.
direction in which you hold.
So,
I turn it back over to you guys.
so okay, so I'm just going to tell everybody. I heard water. It sounded like flowing water. And from what I heard, I tied this piece of fabric around the tree that would be in the direction of the water. So I don't know if we want to, I'm not sure how far that would be or how much rope we have if we want to go that way. Or do you think, because I'm wondering, I can't remember, as Ellie, I can't remember if the forest moved, but water didn't. So are we spinning in the woods, but nothing around us is? We're just in the woods. I wish Hippie was here.
Well, you said you heard water in that direction, correct? As
Correct.
Small points at the tree.
Yes.
Oh, there's only one way to know. Let's check it out.
All right.
Where there's
Should we?
water, there's likely animals.
Yeah. So should we just?
Were we gonna follow your plan, Smalls, with the rope? Do you think that would be useful?
That's probably the safest. I mean, that's definitely the safest way of doing it. Tie the rope to somebody, let them walk out, and have somebody else monitor the other end of the rope.
Cause shit, I feel great. I don't have any exhaustion or nothing, so if you want me to go out a little bit ahead.
Because I could also, as Ellie, I could go with Monroe. So I guess the question would be, would we tie the rope to the tree that has the fabric on it, and then
Yeah, someone would need to tie it down and then probably hold on to it as well, like do double just to make sure we can yank on the rope a little bit to signal that we're walking back or something.
Well, I can monitor the rope.
So do you want Monroe and I to walk out that way? Do you want to go that way with me, Monroe?
We'll need to like link arms or something, or have a way for us to.
Well, if we hang on to the rope, right?
Well, there's only one rope, yeah. So one of us would
Well,
have
how
to hold the
many-
rope, and the other ones would be linked on if we're gonna hold hands.
Yeah. So we all have what, 40 feet of rope? Or I have 40 feet.
We
How
have to
many-
tie them for a distance. We're not going to be able to see anything.
Yeah. So how about we get together and tie those, sit down and, everyone help with their best knot skills. I do have weaver skills, so I can show you how to tie a sturdy knot. And then if Smalls wants to wrap it around the tree and just hang on to that as we go out.
Well,
am I making sense?
I would think so. I'm just worried about how tight can we tie a knot. Hey, Argus, you look capable. If you can help.
theoretically could. So we did get long rest. So yes. Yes.
Just mechanically, you look like a mechanical
Everybody has reduced at least one level of
One.
exhaustion if you had more than one, except for Mal. She gets stuck.
Not me. I have no exhaustion.
Okay.
Same. I am perfectly rested.
Small has one level. As I'm thinking about this, we want to have as much leeway on this rope as possible. Yes, to be able to travel as far as possible.
Yes.
Would
Yeah,
it
'cause
not?
we can't let go.
Would it not make more sense then if we tied the rope around my waist? I mean, that's an extra foot, even compared to a tree. And I
Sure.
stayed in camp with everyone, and then we tied it off to one of you, and you two have to hold on to each other, either by hand, by belt, by something, so you do not stray from each other.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
then should something pull on the rope, it's not just in your hand, but rather tied to you. And yeah, it might
I
jar
agree.
you, but it won't rip it out of your hand.
Ellie, if you're very keen on going out into the woods, I think you might have a better sight. I think having one person to tie it around and giving an insight, because having two people out in the endless wood, I feel
They
we
might
tried
lose.
this before,
Yeah.
and look where we are right now. But
All right. So
Um,
if
but Ellie, when you go out, do you remember what Drum and what Maddie looked like?
yes. Yes, I remember all of it.
Cool.
So
I would
are we
say
headed we're
maybe
headed
try
towards
and look
the
out.
are we headed towards the water though to see if we could get rations, right?
Yeah, but
We're hunting.
maybe
Okay.
they would go towards the water too. I don't know. I
Oh.
don't know this would, but I'm being hopeful and thinking, hey, maybe they're not as far as we thought. So just throwing that out there. Yeah, we want to get some food and stuff, but maybe look for friendly faces, I guess
Well,
is the term.
always keep your eyes open. Yes, always keep your eyes open looking for them. But I do feel the primary purpose for this exploration should be rations and or a way out of these woods are the two primaries. Beyond that, we're definitely keeping our eyes open for our teammates, but we need to make sure that we're that the primary objectives are still the primary objectives. Ellie, if you're going to be the one doing this, do you have hunter-gatherer skills or anything of that nature that will assist you? Would you be the best choice for this?
Well, I have really good perception and I don't have a lot of strength. But I'm trying to think because I can detect poison, so I would know if something's good for the group or not.
Yeah, that would be really good, especially if you're going to find rations. That's why I think Ellie would be. If if I'm out there, I wouldn't know what to grab, and I would just grab it all. Knowing me, I guess I'm very fragile.
Yeah.
No,
Ellie seems
that's
capable.
why I asked. Wanted to make sure that we were sending the person with the right skill sets.
Yeah, and I also can disguise self, so I think I would be able to do it. I think I would be able to do it.
Okay. Then
So-
can everybody bring their ropes over?
So
Yeah.
for the sake of calculations here, how many lengths of rope do you have between all of you that you want?
Smalls has one length of 50.
Okay.
Ditto.
Who else?
I am loading.
I also have one rope of 50.
Okay.
I apologize, everyone. I thought I did because it was in here, but I have used it apparently. I do not have it.
And I have one rope.
I have
So we
50 feet.
Okay.
So
So
3
now-
ropes at 50 feet.
I
Okay.
have a rope too.
That's 3 so far. Who
4.
else? We have Argus. We have Morb. We have Monroe. 3.
Ellie.
I have mine.
And Ellie.
That's 5.
Ellie and Melon, that's 6.
Okay.
Has anybody gone through Drum's backpack? Perhaps he had one.
We haven't gotten it yet.
Drum had everything on him.
Oh, okay.
He left his
I
backpack
heard
in
it.
camp, though, didn't he?
I think Drum carried everything with him usually.
Oh.
John, I'll leave that up to you, honestly. Would your backpack be in camp or would you have carried it on you?
I would say it's probably in camp because
Okay.
I kind of Malin got thrown through a portal and I immediately ripped it open and jumped into it. So I don't think I would have grabbed anything in between that time.
Okay. Has anybody gone through John's backpack then? Or Drum's backpack?
I would think so. I'm a little sneaky. Let's look for drum stuff.
Take a look. He's got the.
And then, well, drum, you're here for now. Drum, you're here for.
Was also
Hey, Drum, tell me
have
what's
rope.
in your stuff.
Drew does, yeah.
And then Drew has rope as well.
Drew has rope.
Hold up, I died. I gotta go open up the character sheet.
Well, I'm gonna say this. It's like your backpack, if you're saying it's in camp, I'll allow it. Because yeah, it would make sense that you didn't carry this with you if you didn't absolutely have to. And there's some good stuff in there. So
Well, no, most of the good stuff is equipped to me, but you know, there is some good stuff in there. Let's see.
you might want to take a look
Anything
at your
left?
backpack.
I have a 50-foot rope.
What else do you have in your backpack?
I also have the Onkeg half plate.
What else do you also have in your backpack?
14 days worth of rations.
14?
That's a lot of rations.
I have 14 rations. Yeah, I was buying I bought them every time because Marsha was like, rations are important. So every time we stopped, I bought rations.
Well, that's
Well,
another
I
day's
definitely
worth.
relay my excitement, like, guys.
Go ahead and add 14 rations to your total. Whoever's going through here, though, go ahead and take stock of inventory of everything that you had in here.
I will paste everything I have real quick.
Sounds good.
All right. So how many lengths of rope we got? I think I got 6 or 7, right? Because you got drums. You're only missing Matty. Smalls doesn't have them. 7, right?
Yep.
You all had them.
Yes, that is correct math.
Okay. So I'm going to calculate this. Who's tying the knots?
Hold on, Marshall, before you start calculating. I have never seen a rope, and I brought this up to the group. I have never seen a rope that is not at least a twist of 2 different cords, if not 3.
Okay.
I propose to the group that rather than use all of these 50-foot rope from all 6 people, maybe we take 3, unwind them, and so that they're longer, they're just not as thick, and tie them together.
Okay. I would also say this, so Smalls, you know that if you unwind, like yes, that does make it longer, but you also know that it makes the rope weaker. So you could
That's
triple
acknowledged.
your length. You could essentially triple your length, but it's going to raise the DC on these knots. Wherever's going to tie.
So Ellie is a weaver, so she knows how to tie knots.
Okay. Ellie,
And I would make an argument that the DC on the knot wouldn't change, but the fragility of the rope itself would change. So if something went running through it, say an enraged Matty or something, it would break much easier. But I don't see how it would necessarily lessen the strength of the knot itself.
Because this is a magical world, and I'm going to raise the DC to make it even for everybody. If you're using this.
Oh, so basically you just want to be an ass. Got it.
DM rules. So yeah, I'll allow it. As if you guys are going to triple the length on this thing, you can, but it will raise the DC on the knots, and I'm not going to tell you what the DC is.
Well, group consensus.
What do you want to gamble on? Because you're not going to know a rope. You're not going to know a knot works until it fails.
Oh, I propose with that being the case, I propose we leave the 50-foot length as is, tie it off initially, and explore as is. We can always untie and then unwind later, but we won't be able to rewind up that rope.
So give our first night a go, since we've seen Drum has left 14 days worth of rations in the meantime.
Lucky find. Okay, so you guys keeping the standard rope length?
That would I leave it up to the group, but that's my suggestion from small standpoint is we leave it as the 50-foot. We can always, if it's not long enough, we can always untie the knots, then unwind some length, and then retie knots and go out and continue to explore further.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion.
Everybody in agreement?
Aye.
Okay. So what do we have? 7 lengths of rope?
Yes, that is the math.
Okay. Ellie, you're tying the
Yes.
knots. So go ahead, and I'm going to reduce, because you're going to need a certain length. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. And because you're using your Weaver skill, I will also allow you to add a +3 to whatever it is you roll.
All right.
And you know what? Because you're going to take your time on this, I'll give you advantage. It's like you guys aren't in any kind of rush. So allow you to
So
take these knots.
that was sleight of hand was 22. So with 3, that's
25.
25.
Okay. On a 25, I'm only going to reduce 5 feet of rope for each knot that you have to tie rather than 10. So I'm going to reduce this by 7 times 5 is 35. Yep. Okay. You're able to, while keeping the rope the exact length of the 50 feet without unraveling it, you're at 315 feet that you can successfully travel from camp while maintaining hold on the rope. So who's going
Okay.
up?
I guess Ellie's going out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And Mark was gonna be on the other end.
Okay.
With it tied around his waist
Smalls is hanging on. Okay. Are you still
to the
exhausted,
tree
Smalls?
and the rope.
Smalls still exhausted, by the way? Just asking.
Just one level.
Okay.
That's what I was wondering though too, but
Let's find out. All right. Ellie, I want you to make me a survival check or a nature check. It's up to you.
Nature.
Okay.
That is a 14.
14. At about 315 feet, you start to edge out into the forest. And just as you begin to lose sight of camp, you look back and camp's gone. You've barely left. You've maybe walked 150 steps out, give or take. But the length of rope is still there. And as you give a tug, Smalls, there's a tug that comes back the other direction. So even though you've lost sight of camp, there's still something holding you tight. You have your way back.
Okay.
You continue south, which is the direction that the tree trunk was wrapped in with your ribbon.
Yeah.
315 feet, guys, in the grand scheme of things, is nothing. Monroe, Smalls, I mean, all of you that have been out hunting before, you know that when you make a camp, it's loud, it smells. Nothing that is prey is going to come anywhere near it, even the most curious. You guys know that you got to go at least a half mile, maybe even a mile out before you find something that has settled down enough or is chill enough for you guys to even get a shot at. On a 14, though, Ellie, I want you to go ahead and roll me a survival check at disadvantage.
That was an 8. And
8.
that was that. Oh my gosh! Of course, my second one was a nat 20.
Nat 20. Are you perchance
Disadvantage.
using a? Do you want to use one of your spells? Your protect. Your. What do you have? Is it protection from poison or is it sense protect?
I have detect poison and
Okay.
sorry, protection from evil and good and detect poison or protection from poison.
Okay, so you have protection from poison, but you don't have detect poison.
Oh, I guess I have protection from.
Okay. Unfortunately, on an 8, you are surrounded by a great deal of flora and fauna here, or at least flora. There's mushrooms, there's roots, there's things growing on the ground. You're not a survivalist. This isn't something that you've trained for. You're looking around. It's like you could take some stuff back to camp if you want to, but you have no idea of the effect that it might have. You have no way of telling on an 8. On 315 feet out from camp, though, you do continue to hear the water from this direction. Do you want to tie another ribbon to another tree, to try and mark your path closer to the river?
Yes,
Okay.
I have more ribbon.
Do you take anything back to camp?
Well, I want to grab some of the mushrooms. And the chives that I could see that I know are chives because
You
they're
don't
all
know.
over the woods.
You don't know their chives. You're not Xena. You're Ellie. You have no idea what any of this stuff is. You're not a survivalist. You just see mushrooms for what they are.
All right. I'm not going to touch anything. Although I have protection from poison, but that doesn't mean people out in camp would have the same thing. So I could pick up whatever I want and I wouldn't know if it's poison or not. And I have protection against that, right?
If you cast a spell.
So I don't know if anyone at camp other than Argus would know what foods are
You
poison.
begin to start feeling a tug. You begin to start feeling a tug on the rope. There hasn't been any movement for a while. You get the impression that maybe somebody's starting to worry about you.
Okay, I'm just gonna use one of my handkerchiefs and grab some of the mushrooms that are around me and by the trees and throw them into my handkerchief and then start working my way back to camp.
Okay.
After I tie that piece of fabric on the tree.
Okay. You start making your way back to camp. Handful of mushrooms wrapped in a handkerchief. You tie a knot off. You tie another ribbon off of the tree. Head south another 315 feet or give or take, and you make your way back to camp. You tell the group about what you saw. You didn't see the river, but you definitely you heard it a lot louder, so you feel like you're heading in the right direction. And you got a handful of these mushrooms that you found, but you have no idea what they're all about. What do you want to do?
I want to walk over to Argus and ask him if he knows anything about the mushrooms of the wild.
I know
Argus?
nothing of the mushrooms of the wild. I am not proficient in nature.
Is Drew?
Drew would probably know if those are safe to eat, but it looks like they are entertaining
Allie
at
is
the
not.
moment.
Allie has
Smalls
not-
is proficient in survival.
Smalls
Okay.
are noted, yeah.
Sure. I'll let Smalls take a crack at it. Smalls, the DC is going to be a little bit higher. It would be DC 10 for a nature check. For you, it's going to be a DC 15 survival.
All right. Well, let's give that a go. Yeah, that sucked. Let's see. Oh, I can use my inspiration and try a reroll on that.
You want to?
Because you said it was what, 15?
15.
You're exhausted, so you would be rolling at disadvantage.
Oh.
That's true. You're still at disadvantage.
So no matter what, doesn't really. I'm not going to get higher than a 7. So I'm not going to beat the DC anyway.
Yeah. Doesn't look like any mushroom that you've ever eaten. Let's put it that way.
So, does it make
Okay.
sense to use an inspiration on that and try again?
You'd still be rolling a disadvantage. I would say that it's probably not worth it.
Okay.
That's up to you. It's your guys' inspiration points.
Well-
to Maddie's point, he says, I will honor this for the same reason as Drum. He left his pack in camp, so I'd say that Maddie's pack is still, his backpack is still in camp. I want to take a look at what Maddie has.
Monroe, our expert thief.
Righto.
So,
Do I have the sleight of hand Maddie's stuff though?
No, you're not trying to sneak anything. You can just take a look. It's like right now, I'm looking at his inventory. He's got 3 breath of fire potions, fire breath potions. Those really powerful vodkas that you guys won at the competition back in, I believe it was Roost at the festival. He's got a bedroll, a mess kit. He's got another length of rope that you guys used, I believe. Tinderbox, torches, water skins, and familiar bracelet. But I think that was just a placekeeper for the thing that is on Lucky right now. So I'm actually just
Correct.
So yeah, he's no more rations. You don't find anything in Maddie's kit that's really worth anything beyond what you guys already have, besides the fire breath potions.
2, Ellie could eat one of the mushrooms.
If
Eat
you
one
want
of the
to.
mushrooms. Huh?
That's up to you.
I-
Do you want to eat a random mushroom? It's fine.
I would. Okay, hold on. Do I see Ellie? Do I need to roll a perception to see Ellie just being like, "I'll just eat one" and see if
That depends.
I
Are
catch
you gonna try?
this?
Are you gonna try and eat one?
I could try and eat one because,
Sure,
and then
okay.
if I'm poisoned, I have the spell.
Let's find out. Well, it may not be just poison, so we'll find out. So go ahead and roll me that perception, Monroe. Ellie has chosen to eat a random mushroom that she found in the forest. Let's find out.
A 12 on that one, so it's 13 because my base natural is 13.
Okay. 12. I'll allow you to see that she's about to eat. So, like, she's
13.
kind of eyeing something. Something's coming. 13. Okay, it's decent. It's not terrible, but you definitely notice that she's about to. She's eyeing something really close to her face.
Hey, yo, Ellie. What you doing?
Well, I found all these mushrooms, and if they're good, and we can, and because there's more of them out there. If
You
I
found
try
out
one,
there?
yes, out in the woods.
Put that down.
But if I
Put
taste
that down.
it, but if
You don't know me, Ellie. Hold up. No. Do you know how I got these scars, by the way, on my chest? It's because I also put random crap inside of my mouth. I have learned you do not put random stuff in your mouth unless you...
I do have protection from poison. I do know that spell.
Yes. What is that going to do for us if we can't? It's like, if you're poisoned or not poisoned, we won't know that. What if it does something else to you? We don't have the means to help you right now. We're missing 2 people from our camp. We thank goodness we found 14 rations, but that's all we found. Maddie's bucket is full of crap, which I'm very surprised. I wish there was something cooler in his backpack, but I guess...
All right, well, I'll just tell the whole group that I went out. You guys already know, we went all the way out the length of the rope. These were all I could find. There was a lot of plants out there, but I didn't know. I just grabbed the mushrooms.
And I'm glad you did, because honestly, we could ask people, if we ever get out of this wood, we could probably ask, like, hey, we found these, can we sell them? Or do something about it later. But no, it was a good find, but I strongly advise. I will say yay or nay. I just know my lessons have been learned. If you would like to also partake in the lessons being learned, by all means. But I'm already being yelled at for my stuff, and I'm just, I'm that
Alright.
boy that's like, hey, I'm learning, and I would like to, have others not be me. Don't be me, please. Do not be me.
Alright,
And
then
I'll step aside, and I'm like, you can choose whatever, but beware. I've made terrible mistakes by saying,
well,
hey, what does this do?
yeah.
Marshall, real quick, how much of the day have we burned so far?
Smalls, as you look up, like it's in your mind, it's only been a few hours since you guys woke up, like maybe 2 or 3 since you guys came up with this plan and sent Ellie out and back. Like they didn't go far. 315 feet's nothing. But as you look up, you feel like half the day, more than half the day is gone. It's mid-afternoon at this point. You've got maybe 4 hours of daylight left. You feel like in your mind when you're looking up?
Okay. Listen, we need to stop arguing about mushrooms and looking for rations. We need to find a way out of here. I suggest we go back into the woods, perhaps a different direction this time, looking for any signs of paths or civilization. We need to find a way out of here. We are not going to survive if we continue to just randomly walk in and then spend time arguing on whether or not we should eat mushrooms that nobody can identify. I agree with Moore. Not a good idea.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue. I just thought maybe
I
if
appreciate
it
your
was
willing
something.
self-sacrifice. However,
Yeah.
we need to. I understand we have teammates that are out there, and I am not saying we abandon them, but we are going to do them no good if we sit here and die like a bunch of survivalists who can't figure out how to get out of woods. I don't know about y'all, but cannibalism is not the top of my list of things to do.
Nope.
Okay. So may I suggest we continue to search in the direction of water, but maybe not directly maybe not in the exact same direction. Logic would dictate that civilizations and animals tend to move near water, especially out in the woods. My suggestion, again, we move in the same general area, but maybe take a different path this time.
All right. Does someone else want to go? I mean, I did leave them as a trail, if you will, in the
And
direction
if
I
we're,
went.
and
Probably
I'll take the
gone.
next watch.
I am willing to go for a walk if you feel somebody is able to haul me back. Especially with it getting dark, and we don't know the condition that Matty is in. Last we saw, he was not himself. Is there anyone who feels that they could haul me back in the case of an issue?
Well, I mean, if you're on the one end and a few of us are on the other
Yeah, we'll have
end,
to wait on that. Yeah. I think I'm still in the negatives in my strength.
yes, because I am not strong. So
Yeah, I'm a -2, so I will not. But I can cheer y'all on in the back. But that's a good plan. I would say too, if we have to go into day 3 and I have to do the next one, I have a thing with water that maybe I can try and divine sense or something in the direction of water, see if that'll make a difference as well. So
Okay. So you
like,
guys
I don't
feel,
know.
do you want to take this trip then? But with the sun is going down quick. I
Yeah.
know that I know I am proficient in both perception and survival. So should the worst happen and I end up out there, I at least can help continue to
You
look
have a
around
fighting chance.
and have a
Yeah.
fighting.
I think that's our best route right now, Mark, though. Like I said, if push comes to shove and I need to just go out there as a hoorah, I do have a skill that I could try to do. But nah, I think you're right.
Just
We need
Okay.
some.
follow the rope.
So Mark's out. Any volunteers to hold on to Mark's side of the rope, because we will probably need at least 3, because Smalls is Smalls.
Big guy. I feel like I'm the only one who won't be rolling at disadvantage. So,
Or we tie me to a tree. If
Say
we
that
can
Drew
move a
also.
few feet
You
and
guys can
tie.
also use Drew in this instance. So Drew, I would say that Drew is also helping.
So Drew and Argus.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll go see what Drew's numbers are real quick.
Ellie, you said he had strength before?
Drew's got a +2 to strength, I think. Oh, +1. Not great, not terrible.
It's better than mine.
Not a lot of strength built characters in this game, this group.
No.
Right. So Smalls, are you headed out into the woods for the next length?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm not going to go the exact same path that Ellie just went.
You want to go like an opposite direction?
No, I'm gonna take it. We know which way she heard water coming from, so I'm gonna look at that tree that she had the annotating in that direction,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take a slice off of that. Go probably 20 degrees off center.
Okay, but you still want to leave from the tree that's inside of camp?
The one
Or
that
do you want-
the one that she marked direction of water.
Okay, so do you guys want to move to the second tree that she marked? Like Ellie could lead you guys to the second tree that she had marked. It's only 315 feet away. So do you want to move to the second tree and then try your distance, or do you want to go from the first one that she marked at camp? She's marked 2 trees.
Right, but we can't see that second tree. Correct? It's too far out.
It's about 315 feet out. You know that much. So you guys want to try and move to the second tree?
How much stuff do we have that we can pack with us?
You guys can take your entire camp. I mean, it's like you don't have the wagon or anything. It's everything you can haul. I would say take what you want from either Matty and Drum's backpack, but you can't take the whole thing. So take what you can carry. Beyond that, everything else stays behind.
Team, do we want to stay there while we look for where to go in case Matty and Drum come back? Or do we want to move on?
I'm ready to move on, but
We could just.
Malin
Yeah.
hasn't moved since we got back.
Yeah, we need to check on everyone else because, I mean, Argus, what do you think? Would you like to go with us?
I would like to not be in these woods anymore. That would be nice.
Okay.
How are you doing, Malin?
Everything hurts.
All right.
So
Is Malin still exhausted?
Yes.
Still 3 levels of exhaustion. She's not recovering the way that she should. Okay, decision time. Are you guys moving to the second tree that she marked? Are you guys staying in camp and then trying to go other directions?
Let's move to the second tree. I'll pick Malin up. We can all hold on to the rope, kind of weave the rope through a belt or something so you're kind of attached to it and we'll move forward.
Okay.
I am
I'll
going
move
to
up.
wince
I'm-
in pain when you grab me.
As far as Maddie's backpack, say what was in that again?
3 potions of fire breathing, and then pretty just standard backpack stuff. Nothing great. Correct.
And then what about drums? Just trying to make sure I grab it.
Drum had the on-keg half plate in his backpack.
Yes.
That custom suit of armor that he carried. You guys already took the rations. His rope you already took. He's got some smith tools, torches. He has a bronze bracelet in there.
Can I take his bundle of fuses?
Yes, you can take his bundle of fuses.
We just like okay, so somebody will have to stay at the original tree, right? And then we all just grab our stuff and go to the other tree, but someone's going to have to stay back and untie the knot, right?
Very clever. Yes, someone needs to stay at the original tree at the other end of at the length of the rope, and then when the entire group has made it to the other tree, then untie the ribbon from the first one and then move following the rope to the rest of it.
Right. That's the only logical thing I can think of.
Very clever.
Smalls
And I'll have
Smalls is willing to take up the rear.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll be safer for you guys to move as a group.
While still carrying Malin.
Yeah. I've got 40.
tie it onto Malin and hold on to Malin.
Morg's gonna
alright.
walk up and pat Smalls and just like you take Malin. I'll take the rear.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have an issue if I take that on-cleg piece of armor? I'm going to put it in my backpack in case we run into Drum again. I feel he may want it.
Yeah, it's a good piece.
Can't we just take both their packs with us?
Not
we
too
don't
heavy.
Have anywhere to put it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to take the entire backpack. You guys need to pick and choose what you're gonna take. You already took the rations, but you need to take what else you're gonna take. There's smith tools in there. You already used the rope. You already took the rations. It's like, honestly, I'll let you take the bushel of fuses for more. There's a bronze bracelet that's in Drum's backpack if somebody wants to take that. There's the wanted posters of him and Pumper Rum. But beyond that,
I actually have the posters.
okay.
He
Beyond
forgot
that,
to take his inventory.
Yep. I'm going to say beyond that, most of everything else is still, yeah, everything else you're going to have to leave behind.
I know they're not listed, but I am going to take both of their journals.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a good question. Well, somebody's asking about the coin. The coin that they had on the persons. Drum had 867 coins. Maddie's not. I'm going to say that coin.
I think coin is usually on the hip, no?
Coin's on your persons. I'm not going to say it's in the backpack. You wouldn't leave it unprotected like that.
No. I agree.
Coin's on your persons. So no, it's not in the backpack.
If
Okay.
we've been together for like 3 or 4 years as an actual group in game, maybe.
Maybe.
But
there
right
might be
now,
some- No, everybody has their coin. Everybody's got their coin on their persons. Okay.
Yeah, so
Either
I
way,
guess
Marshall-
you all should choose what you want, and then we need to move forward before it gets dark.
Yes.
Okay.
Marshall, can you
Michael.
tell me how to spell on-keg or whatever the hell that word is so that way I can put it in the bag?
So
Yeah,
if you
it's-
go to the planet chat, it's in the shinies.
It's here. ANKEG. It's fine. Or ANKHE.
It's there.
Yeah.
John put a
Oh.
screenshot of it there.
Once you guys ultimately decide what you want to do with it, I'll add it to somebody's inventory. You guys can do that. It's a custom homebrew item, so piece of.
I want to put it in my backpack.
That's fine. Yeah,
Hang
just
on,
put it as a placeholder item.
I'm going to assume that Drum's going to want it back if we're leaving his bag. So I'm grabbing it so that way I can bring it to Drum should he need it or want it.
That is a good guess or a good assumption.
Before everybody starts like filing, I'm going to be like, wait, where's Lucky?
Lucky's still kind of sitting at the edge of camp, kind of in the same place he was. He's kind of sticking close to Ingus a little bit and the beetle. It doesn't seem like he's so much like he cares like that, but it just seems like that's his logical place that he's.
Okay.
Nobody's talked to Enos.
I did when we first got back.
Okay.
As long as Lucky is accounted for and safe, I'm okay.
Okay. You guys no longer have his. For the sake of this movement, I'm going to say that he follows with the group. He kind of sticks close to Ingus. But you guys no longer have his piece of equipment that allows you to talk to him or put him away.
All right,
Is,
Ellie.
So what?
I was saying.
Sorry, I was asking the Maddie's satchel thing. Did it also say about the way to talk back to the main camp, not main camp, the missions, or is that still on Maddie?
His documents, satchel.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you can go ahead and no, that's on his persons. That's still on Maddie.
Okay, cool.
For the
That's
sake
it.
of this, it's still on Maddie. Okay.
Is there
Right.
anything left out of Maddie's bag that we want to take for him? His fire breath potions or his booze?
Maddie's booze is still on him, but the fire breath potion. The potions of fire breath, as far as anybody really knows, are just like 3 really nice bottles of like homebrewed vodka. But nobody else but Maddie knows that they're actually can be used as potions.
I'll take
Okay.
him. Because I know he likes the booze.
With
Okay.
my alchemical knowledge, would I have been able to tell that they're potions?
If you get a chance to put your hands on them, yeah, probably.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair.
Are we ready to move?
I do want to ask Marshall, can I take Drum's crowbar and feed it to my symbiote?
Sure.
Okay.
Is everybody that small
Feed
set?
my
Is everybody
son.
ready to move?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody begins moving towards the second tree that was marked by Ellie. Relatively easily, it's not far. It's 315 feet. That's a brisk walk for a couple of minutes. You're there, and since it hasn't really had a whole lot of time yet, the forest is kind enough to you that you're following the length of rope. Morb, you're at the other end here at camp, holding onto one length. Everybody's able to successfully make it to the second length to the tree. Morb, just before the rest of the group tugs at the end of the rope, though, something kind of like gurgles in your chest, and something shivers a little bit. And for the first time, you hear a little voice echoing in your ears. Daddy.
See, you can talk.
Hungry, Daddy.
I know. I'll do what I can.
Do you feed it the crowbar?
I feed him the crowbar.
You get the feeling that you have a feeling in the pit of like, you yourself have really never experienced hunger. Like, you know what you need to eat. You know you need to consume in order to survive. You've never experienced that pit in the field of your stomach when you're hungry. But for the first time in, I guess you could say, your existence, you still. Is there anything else you want to feed?
Let me check my inventory.
You begin tugging on the end of the rope, and you begin walking and following like the rope, wrapping it up as you go. But go ahead and check and see.
I have 10 pittons in my inventory.
Okay.
Can I feed all of those to it?
Sure. Between the crowbar and the pittons, as you're literally like, and I would say, who all here, like anybody that wants to, when Morb starts approaching camp, could go ahead and make a perception check here. It's not hard. You're all kind of waiting for Morb to show up. So go ahead and roll me a perception, anybody that wants to here, just to notice something. for fun.
All right, I'm gonna roll.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm doing this.
Yeah, I
with
did
Mark,
too. It's
even
10.
though it's -6 for me.
10? Okay.
And disadvantage.
Aha.
It's still 13.
Anybody that's still exhausted need to roll at a disadvantage.
I got
Yeah.
a
I
21.
rolled an 18 and a 19.
Okay.
I rolled a 16.
Nice.
I rolled a 22 and a 10.
And a 10? Okay. Honestly, the DC
Ellie
was
got a 21.
the DC 21. Nice. Honestly, the DC was like 10 or less. I'd say it was about an 8. It's not difficult. You guys were all literally waiting for the orb to show up. The perception check was really to kind of like notice what he was doing. But as he begins coming to camp, is like he's got his extra arms kind of out. Like he's able to kind of literally morph his body around to like make extra arms if he wants to do something or handle something. You've all seen it when he's making his potions and stuff. And as these two little arms are wrapping up this rope, he's pulling pittons and crowbars and stuff out of his pack, and he's literally like shoving them into his chest, into his being. And they all begin to kind of dissolve this weird frothy bubbling inside of him below the watery level of his body into whatever that black thing is that's dwelling inside of him now, that's giving his like a length of veins and sinews inside of his body. There's a set of eyes that are almost beginning to take shape inside of his head. Still, all of this is below the surface. But he is literally shoving things into his body as they dissolve away. Take that for what you will. But okay.
Malls are going to look at him as he walks up. Morb? You all right?
Just hungry.
I'd say so. That's interesting. Should we be
In your
concerned?
head, you hear me go, you seem a lot more acidic than I remember.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Malls will take him at his word, but is very clearly questioning that.
Well, Ellie's just looking at him like, what, you're changing. Should we all be concerned about you changing?
No.
All right.
Well, we all.
All right. With that, is there enough? Where's that sun at? You said it didn't take us long to get there, correct?
No. You feel like you've lost maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes between everything. It's like it didn't feel like it should have been that long, but it is. I would say that you guys have kind of discovered something here. For the sake of speeding this up, you guys continue the same process with the length of rope to continue working in the directions in which you hear the wolf.
Okay.
Do you guys do that?
Yes.
Yes.
That is
move forward.
literally the plan.
Okay. So with that,
Go, go.
Because several of you start taking turns. You go 300 feet out, another 300 feet out. This takes a while. You guys got to remember, it's like, there's 5,268 feet or 5,280 feet in a mile. You're moving 300 feet at a time. You're hearing rushing water off in the distance. I mean, it's at least a half mile before you guys can like even get close to what you assume is the source of this sound. It does take a while. And just as the sun, just about after the sun is setting, maybe about 20, 30 minutes, it's starting to get dark. You guys continue through the length here, and you guys are going leapfrogging this thing at the length of rope through the forest, and you come right to the edge of a rushing river. But it is now dark. The amount of time that it's taken you to kind of figure things out and move forward and decide on the directions you want to go, you've taken an entire day. Now, several of you remember that when you fought the cultists, you were on an opposing side of the river, from what you could hear, from what you could remember. So you feel like you are on the wrong side of the river if you are trying to find where Drum and Matty still were, and Hippie. So with that knowledge, what you all kind of discovered here, you're on this side of the river, but you realize it's probably the wrong side of the river. But it's dark. Do you all choose to rest here at the edge of the river, Nice. Take a long rest. Maybe get rid of some of those disadvantage checks, or do you want to try and fjord now?
Smalls is going to say we need to set up camp. We do not want to continue this in the dark. We were lucky to make it here without these woods throwing us for a loop. Let's set a fire.
I have night vision, so I could see into the river if we wanted to try and catch a fish or something.
I am all for doing some fishing and or looking for fruits and berries that are around here.
Yes.
But I highly advise our group stop at this point, set a fire, and pull up a perimeter. We know that they were just across the river. We're not sure where. We're not sure if we're on the same side of the river as they are. We really have no idea. At this point, we've made good progress. Let's set in for the night, set up camp, set up security, and reassess in the morning.
Agree.
Okay.
With that agreement, Smalls is going to go back towards facing the woods and just start a lookout.
Okay. So you're going to take a look out
At that
first,
point, I'm going to be like,
watch?
can you
Yes.
put me down first?
Say
Oh.
what,
No, he's going to carry you around the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just going to carry you the whole time. Oh, yes. I apologize. I forgot I was holding you. Where would you like me to rest you? I'll set her down. I'll set her down wherever it makes most sense that we're going to set up a fire near there, so that way she doesn't have to move. She's already propped up against, as comfortable as we can make her. We're near wherever the fire would be.
We can just build the fire next to her, and then just
Yes, that
start.
works for me.
Well, my thought is, if we're on a riverbank, you don't know if it's all rock, if it's sand, if there's so on and so forth. So assessing a situation in such that it makes sense to put a fire, I'll put her near that.
That's fair.
So can Ellie roll a perception check with her night vision to see what's around?
Sure. Yeah. Night vision's not going to give you any kind of advantage. You only have night vision really out to, I think, 30 or 60 feet, depending. So, but
right, but why aren't we right on the edge of the river, though?
Yeah.
So it's dark.
Yeah.
And we don't know where to set the fire.
Okay.
So if I could, I'm sorry?
What are you looking for?
To see where it would be safe to set up a fire so we can tend to Malin.
Sure. I wouldn't even make you roll a perception for that. You know that there's enough distance away from the river so that it's not splashing against the edge. It's like the river's moving pretty quick, and every once in a while it does splash up against the edge or some rocks and put some water out. But you know that if you build a fire, 50, 60 feet back away from the edge, you should be pretty good. So go ahead and you set up with knowing that.
Okay.
Okay. So, Smalls, you're taking the first watch. Go ahead and roll me perception at disadvantage. And then whoever's taking the second watch, if you're exhausted, it's disadvantage as well. Who's taking second watch?
I can do second watch again because, like I said, I only need a little bit of time.
Okay. Then roll me your perception check for your second watch. And Smalls, roll me yours first watch at disadvantage. For the sake of this, are you guys wanting to try and find something around? Are you trying to forage like around the campsite to try and find like things to eat, or are you just going to go ahead and use your rations?
Just see if there's something recognizable to eat, but also to make sure that we're safe. Just kind of going around the perimeter.
That's part of your perception watch.
And
You're not going to get all these. You're not going to get a lot of free checks out of this. It's all part of this.
Okay, I got a 21.
Okay. So what are you looking for, or is that your watch?
Yeah, that's the watch.
Okay. So you're not going to be able to use that to forage or anything like that. So you're taking your watch. Smalls, I need a perception for your watch at disadvantage. Is anybody else doing anything?
Well, I'll have to cook. So, yes, yeah. Unless there's other
What?
tasks that people desire be done, and they can just survive on the ration as a ration.
Okay. I'd say with what you found in drums, 18. That doesn't. I see it disadvantage. I'd say with what you guys found in Drum's backpack, that bought you another day, a full day's worth of rations, plus enough to feed the beast. So 14 was good. You guys are gonna so you guys are gonna go ahead and reduce another full day's rations. You're still at 2, so you didn't lose anything. So that came in clutch with what you found in Drum's backpack.
We're back at original total now. From
Okay.
Good.
All right. Any conversations? Anything going on during this long rest here at the edge of the river before you guys fjord? Alan, how are you feeling?
Very tense.
How are you looking?
What was that?
How are you looking?
To anybody that's like paying attention, I would probably look a lot more dull than the usual vibrant yellows that I have. And I'd be a little bit more like both sets of my arms like curled up against me, like as if I'm in pain.
Color is definitely dulled. Feverish, shaking, very weak. Malin, you are still at 3 points of exhaustion.
Gotcha.
Matty.
Yes, sir.
You're having the weirdest dream right now. It's like you feel like you've been running for days. It's like just running through the forest. Just like every once in a while there's a rush of excitement. It's like you feel like you're chasing something. You've never been a big hunter. You've never really been a big outdoors. You love a good bar. You love a good tavern, song, drink. But all of a sudden out here, something feels good. You can feel the blood pumping through your body. It's almost like a hell of a workout. You just got that adrenaline just coursing through your veins. You got a weird metallic taste in your mouth, though. It's like, you don't know what that is. Like, wait, do you recognize it? No. Who knows? It's whatever. Tastes good, though. Feels good. Whatever this is, it feels good. What else are you feeling right now?
If probably still just feeling a little bit of rage from the last thing that I remember.
What do you think the last thing you remember is?
Seeing Malin fall to the ground with her wings being torn off.
Malin. Who's Malin? Who's Malin, Matty?
Probably the most important person to me.
Yeah? Why can't you remember her? Wait, the most important person? Why can't you remember her face right now?
Oh no.
It's weird. Probably nothing. Hey, something moved over there. You gonna chase it?
I think I will.
Yeah, you do. active chase. It feels like hours that you're just chasing and just blood pumping, your muscles aching, but in a good way. You got that runner's high. You know, you've pushed past the pain. It's just pure euphoria pumping through your lungs right now. There's something off in the distance. Whatever you were chasing, whatever, nothing. But there's a light off in the distance. Looks like a little campfire. Yeah, that's a little campfire. You want to check it out?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Go check it out. You creep up quietly. You just want to rush in.
I think I'm going to come quietly.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth check. Creep up and see what this is.
Uh, 17.
17, nice. Small little campfire. See maybe one person on the edge of it. Little bitty thing. Nothing. Whatever. Bite size. Keep watch. Looks like there's about 6 or 7 more people in there. What do you want to do, Matty?
I think I'm going to attack the one closest to me.
You dive in. Howling, blood curdling, echoes throughout the entire forest. You claw, you bite, you snap, you rip asunder. There's that smell. There's that taste in your mouth. Yeah. Yeah, it tastes good. And with that, we're going to go to break.
Holy cow.
Marshall, he only had a 17 on that stealth, and I had an 18 for the disadvantage on that perception. Did I beat him and see him coming?
Who says it was you?
Yeah, who said this is camp, guys? This is probably something different, right?
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Numbers are
Like,
not
not
in
even a
your
whole day, and
favor.
he forgot
Oh,
what I look
you.
it could happen.
He didn't say
I'm gonna need
small
a drink
thing.
on this one. This is a rough Monday.
Are you kidding me, Monica? Like, he forgot you because you're the most important. I was his best
I'm the
friend
most
the day
important thing
before
in
he killed me.
You know,
Forgot the most important thing.
can we start this session over? I don't like the way this is going right now.
I know we're calling Maddie stuff crap, and now we're saying like, "How dare you, Maddie, for thinking."
I don't like this arc. I think we should just fast forward to the next one.
Oh, Smalls is about to fuck you up. Let's go.
I hope so.
I gotta call my mom.
Let's take a quick 10-minute break. 7:34 my time. Let's come back at 10. But we still got a lot to get through, guys. So let's make sure we get back here on time, and we'll kick it right off.
Hmm.
God.
I'll be back.
Anyway, the rest of the group take it as important. Don't become important to Maddie.
Bro,
He forgets your face. He murders you.
you're my best friend.
Wait, what did you call me?
Guys, I think it's time for me to retire.
It's the mark of the beast is friendship with Maddie.
Oh man.
Who's the little itty bitty thing that's not moving right next to the campfire?
We don't know.
He didn't
Yeah,
say it was by
I've-
the campfire. He just said it was by the edge of the camp.
Okay, so literally anyone. All right, here we go.
Yeah, literally.
Like I said, it's been like almost an hour.
We have a poor little Malin that is 3 exhaustion just sitting there.
Gosh, Jesus.
Yeah, I think she's already mad at me.
Well, that's why I thought it was Smalls. I said Smalls was going to be by the end of the woods.
I don't know. Are you the little itty bitty thing?
Are you small?
Goliath?
Well, I mean, at a distance by comparison.
You giant bastard.
I mean, By the way, I am hurt that Smalls was not your friend, considering how often you hide behind him when we're in battle.
I don't hide. It's more like just kind of with him.
Oh yeah, use him as a human shield.
Yeah.
All right, so don't become important to Matty and don't let him use you. Apparently, your character is not. Your character
I
does
have
not
no
positive attributes.
affiliation with Maddie anymore.
This character has not been turning out the way I thought it would.
All this cool art and cool ideas and concepts ruined. Shattered.
Sounds like he's about to die. Everyone's back to full health, right?
Tasty.
Oh, that
I have 3 levels of exhaustion.
What does that mean for combat? Do you have like disadvantage on something?
50% movement speed, disadvantage on saving throws. I don't remember what 2 was.
Incapacitated to the nth degree.
Is that for one level?
No. So, 50% movement is 3rd level exhaustion. I don't remember what 2nd level is.
What about first?
First is your disadvantage on
It's
all your
just
saving throws and
disadvantage.
skills.
Yeah. So inside combat,
I'm
the
pulling it
one's
up.
probably like
I got it
grappling.
here. Second level is your speed is halved.
Oh, then what's 3rd level?
I have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
Yeah.
On top of half speed and disadvantage on ability checks.
Level 4,
Oh,
your hit
jeez.
point maximum is halved. Level
Ooh.
5, your speed is reduced to 0, and 6, you die.
I'm half dead already.
And at
Great.
one, it's
That literally all it says. Level 6, you die.
You did.
Yeah.
And we
You
still
did.
we don't know why Malin can't like rest at all yet. That sucks.
Dude, the 2024 rules are brutal, man.
Dude, I was looking through them, man. I'm pretty excited to go through some of this stuff though. There's a lot of changes that sound like fun.
On the exhaustion level, so level 1 is you get a -2 to D20 test and a -5 to your speed. At level 2, you have a -4 to D20 rolls, -10 to feet, 3 is 6, -6, -15, 4 is -8, -20, 5 is -10, 25, and then 6 you just die.
So it's just making it to everything though. That's a D20. So attack, saving throws, just everything.
Yeah, it's D20 tests.
Oh, that's
so
brutal.
But since
mine
we're
is
not using that,
realistic though.
since we're not using that though, because Xena was at a level 3 of exhaustion, and that's when she lost her wings.
yeah, at 3 you get the disadvantage on attack
Right.
rolls and saving throws.
Malin too.
No, it wasn't that. It was
Yeah,
her
why is
wings
everyone
were
listening?
whipped off.
Yeah, Malin's wings fell off when she hit 3rd level exhaustion.
No, mine got shut off.
They're not off, right?
Oh no, they're gone.
Through my carapace.
So that doesn't
and
have
chopped them off.
those. The fact that you guys losing your wings doesn't correlate to the exhaustion. That's just a coincidence. It's how you guys went down.
No, so it's part of that Marshall had set with, like, if we get knocked down a certain amount of times, we have permanent damage.
You get a permanent damage.
Just a coincidence that it correlates with your 3 levels of exhaustion and the fact it was both your wings.
All right, well, you guys need to beat Matty until he's unconscious and then beat him 2 more times. Don't kill him. Like, bring him up, like, revive him and then beat him again.
Where's
he'll lose his
Drum?
wings. He'll lose his
Who's the
wings.
most important person you now?
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Seriously. Just punch.
Death. Just
Guys, the cook isn't going to start beating people with a pan for no good reason.
I feel like the cook has set most of the team on fire. Hold on.
No one knows this.
And hey, let's be honest. It doesn't necessarily. The fact that he saw a campfire doesn't mean that it's ours. It could be someone else's.
Who happens to only have 7 party members and a small one right by the fire alone.
It could
Endless
be.
woods,
I said
endless
maybe 7.
possibilities.
It could be. It could be innocents. It could be just civilians.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
shit.
Maddie
But yeah.
does have the
Hippie's
highest kill count for
extended
civilians
family.
too.
He does.
Nope.
Maddie
Nobody
does like
knows
to
that
kill
too.
civilians.
Maddie
That's
is.
Iron's
Maddie
Party
is the murder
members,
hobo.
whole families, actually. That's his hobby. He's gonna go find more of the Chiron family later on in the
Yep.
game. Don't worry
Just
about
continue.
it.
Did he quit?
Damn.
No,
No!
he's not.
Come back! We miss you! We're sorry!
We're gonna say Maddie's done. He's like, nah, nah,
Nah,
man.
hell with y'all.
I'm out.
We don't get small jokes anymore, man. I'm sad. You took all of the humor, comic relief out, man. All the small
Humor's
jokes.
gone.
John's gone. The drum just no rolls, no drum rolls.
Aww.
I'm curious if like I will get better rolls with perception with this with going
I'm
forward.
terrified what
Right.
what else you're gonna come up.
Hey, is everybody back? I think everybody's back.
I think so.
Back.
I don't think we ever left, but
No, it's okay.
Right.
So we
I
took a
don't
quick
think
break.
anyone-
Honestly, we still got a lot to get through, so I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and jump right into it. Everybody's ready. Allie might join and listen in. They are still feeling, pretty crummy. They don't really have the energy, but anything that's going to take place with them, I'll go ahead and play their part. Right. Sherry, you can go ahead and try that if you want to. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. With that, you guys all awaken the next morning. Watches relatively, quiet, other than the rushing of the water, something, maybe a couple things moving around in the woods that night. Nothing too crazy though.
So if we slept again, does that mean everyone takes off a level of exhaustion, right?
Yeah, you go ahead and take another long rest. Level of exhaustion, except for Mountain. How are you feeling after this is your second rest now?
I feel like I'd be more stiff.
Still looking about the same, a little bit more paler.
Definitely paler. Possibly a little bit more like in a ball. Like as time goes on, I just start scrunching myself up more.
A bit more in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Okay. You all definitely take note of this. It's like Malins, she's not really eating anything right now, like not really a whole lot. Not really able to keep a lot of food down, a lot of water down. She's just kind of doubled up in pain here a little bit. Fetal position. She's looking real pale, lost a lot of that color and vibrancy. Looking pretty rough. And for the sake of mechanics, she's still at 3 points of exhaustion. Okay. It's next morning. You guys are at the edge of the river. You guys discuss amongst yourselves. What do you want to do? Do you want to cross the river? Do you want to go? Actually, sorry. I need to roll that back. During camp that night, before everything kind of all went down, and before y'all took your long rests, more. Were you doing anything that night? Sorry, I need to roll back here a little bit, guys.
Let me see. I would try to find something that I could feed my son. I think the last thing I have that isn't useful would be my hammer.
Okay.
So
Feed your
I'll
hammer?
feed my hammer to.
Okay. That's all still one single day, so not too shabby. You feel that hollowness in your stomach. It's satiated, basically. It like you had a good snack. It's like you didn't have a full meal or anything, but fine for now. But you also recall back the night prior. You had kind of gone to the edge of camp, and everything had just went down. It was fresh in your mind. The fight. Matty wasn't with you guys. The hippie wasn't with you. Drum wasn't with you. But you had put a call out, just asking, like you'd never really done this before, but you had seen other members of your party do it. They had put just kind of calls out to the universe, or asking nature, just the gods. It's like you've never been one for prayer. God's ever done for you. But you did put a call out to just the forest itself, asking for help. You're wanting to find your friend. The one friend that you've truly managed to maybe even ever make, as you can remember. You remember that?
Yeah.
Are you still asking that?
Yeah, I probably would. More is thinking like since that first one didn't work, he's wondering if he could like do it in a different way. So he's trying to like rack through his brain like what he can do.
Drew is also kind of there at camp, taking stock of everything. And they had also been asking, praying. Prayer that several of the prayers that Xena had taught them before leaving Last Earth, asking Danu, reaching out, trying to recall any kind of connection to this being, this god, this whatever, asking for their help and finding Drum and Matty here lost in the woods, hippie. Drew, though, the second night, first night went relatively unanswered, as it has many times before. They've even left sacrifices before and never left, nothing ever answered back. But the second night, unprovoked, just as they begin to kind of drift off ever so slightly, a flash of something comes into their mind. And it's a giant crashing of waves. Shapeless in the sense of the way that waves are, ever changing, ever morphing, ever moving. There's no rocks, there's nothing, no. Never seen a wave like that. Trying to understand. It's like we're in the middle of a forest. Why would I be seeing waves? Why am I seeing? Is this the ocean? The waves begin to take shape. And it's a hand. Well, something resembling a hand. Something resembling feet and legs and a torso and a head. It's this amorphous humanoid shape, as if made out of water, out of the waves themselves. But their entire body glistens in a sea of starlight. And Drew snaps awake like, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? He looks over. What are you doing right now, Mort?
Honestly, Morp would probably be like trying to pray again. Sing similar to what he said the first one. And probably sitting like, well, probably not like sitting. He's probably just sitting there in his blob form. Probably kind of in a trance-like thing.
As you're praying and reaching out, Drew from across the way sees, like when they snap out of it, the first thing they see is you. This amorphous, water-like humanoid. Just as the night, it's a couple hours into the evening and night is set, and the light down through the canopies of the trees finds just the perfect opening, and a hint of moonlight glistens down between the canopies and hits you just right. And Drew, from a distance, notices that there is a little shimmer to your body. It's not your normal aquatic, like your water-like body. No, it's even your sun that's been dwelling inside of you. No, this is something else. Something on top and below, all the same. Drew chooses to walk up ever so slightly. You don't really notice. I mean, you're kind of enthralled with whatever you're trying to do, with whatever you're trying to attempt here. And walks forward and notices that there are, it almost looks like constellations inside of your body, taking shape. Drew is, things have been coming back to him. He's remembering. He's like, he's a pretty accomplished calligrapher. He used to draw maps. That's what he kind of did when he woke up and with the group that he used to be with. He was a map maker. He was a guide. And one thing he knows is that one of the best ways to navigate is by stars. There's one thing that's constantly unchanging, so to speak, and it's the stars. He looks over as he approaches, without catching your attention, begins to notice there's several almost like forms and figures inside of your body that are kind of moving and shifting, and it's constellations. 3 that he recognizes. There's the archer, the grand hunter, known to guide hunters to their prey and make their shots ring true. There's the chalice, the cup of life, the giving cup, so to speak. There's legends and all kinds of lore and stuff like that about the chalice and the hunt for grails and things like that. All children's stories, but the chalice is meant to be a sign of good health. And then there's another one shifting around the back of your head, down what would be, I guess you could say, your spine. Your sun is beginning to build something resembling a nervous system stretching through this one. This constellation is the dragon. Symbol of power, symbol of strength, symbol of just power. Yeah. There's no North Stars, there's nothing else. It's like it's hard to tell, but it's around this time that you notice that Drew is standing behind you, looking at
They just standing there
Great.
looking at me.
you. You're standing there looking at you. What do you do?
Is something wrong?
You feeling all right?
Feeling tingly.
Yeah, you look at. It's around this time that you also notice that the same glow is coming from something inside of your pack, and Drew points it out to you. What's going on with that?
I'm gonna pull it out.
You remember that map that Monroe gave you?
Mm-hmm.
Pull that out, and it's. You haven't really had a chance to look at it. You want to do so now?
Yeah.
You take it out, and as you unfurl this thing, you take a look. This isn't a traditional map like like X marks the spot. Oh, here's the treasure. No, this is something else. This is something that the local military uses to literally kind of find their way in this place that they're stationed. No, this is something. Go ahead and roll me an investigation or an arcana. Your choice.
They're both the same, so I'm just gonna do Arcana. That's a natural 20.
Hell yes.
Total of 26.
26. Fucking A. On that, you notice that this map, it navigates less by topography, like a traditional map. It's not like, here's the length of distance you need to go. No. This is something else. It actually shows, in a way, the shifting of the forest, how it moves. And it almost like kind of tends to bend time and space a little bit, but it's closer more to a nautical map, something that you've seen before during your time back on the ship. And it navigates by the stars, the true constant in this world. Unshifting, honest, so long as you can see the night sky. And it dawns on you, like, what's the best way to navigate through a forest that's constantly fucking with your head and moving the ground beneath your feet? Oh, look beyond the forest. Look at the stars.
Can I look at the stars right now?
Sure. Got a clear view, relatively, through a chunk of the canopy here. You see stars. You got cartographer's tools or skills? You ever read a map before? I mean, you've seen maps like this before, but do you know how to read it?
I don't.
I do. Drew offers assistance. Not exactly his complete forte. I mean, he's used to a little bit more of like, topographical maps, actual maps, especially like, things like that. But he begins kind of offering you a few lessons on how to lead or how to read through these nautical maps and how to navigate by constellations, the North Star, finding your constant, like knowing which direction you need to be headed, regardless of what the plan tells you. Like even in a storm, as long as you can find the North Star, you know what direction you need, or at least what your constant is. He spends relatively the rest of the night kind of like talking you through it. And all the while, these same little constellations seem to be shining brightly through your skin. Well, what could be described as your skin. But it doesn't really, not something you really take a whole lot of notice of. I mean, you're just more. Your body does a lot of weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With that, we shift to the next morning. What's everybody doing? Back to the group. Y'all want to do?
Sorry, I was muted. Are we we're all back at camp then?
Yeah. Next morning.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, grandkids. So Ellie notices Melon's condition and walks over just to check on her and puts her hand on her shoulder and asks, is it okay if I touch you? Or does it hurt?
I
Malin?
wince a little, but my voice is really hoarse, so you just kind of hear me like whisper as loud as I can.
So
It's okay.
So is it getting worse? Are you feeling any better at all? Nothing seems to be helping. Sleep, nothing.
It's hard to sleep when things hurt so bad.
All right, well, would it be okay with you if I cast a spell on you to give you a little bit of restoration? It's only lesser restoration, but you have to give me permission because I'm not like that. I don't just cast on people. If you'd like to try it, I could do that for you.
Honestly, I think you should just save it. I don't really think that's gonna happen again.
You don't think it'll help you in any way because it's hands-on healing.
I know, but
Okay, I'm not going to push you. I know I always have to ask before I do something, so that's all I wanted to do. Is ask you if you would like me to lay hands on you.
I appreciate you wanting to help.
Okay.
Can
Well,
you help me turn so I'm not just staring at the fire pit? Please?
Of course. Of course. Here, let me get my bedroll for you. So Ellie gets her bedroll out of her pack and kind of rolls it in a way that Malin can lay and be comfortable. Kind of like a body pillow, just so she can move around.
As comfortable as she can be.
Yes. Does that help you?
It does. Thank you.
Can I get you water or anything?
I'm not exactly hungry right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I don't know how to help. I'm just, if there's anything I can do, just let me
Mort.
know.
Yes.
You're standing at the kind of the next morning, you kind of gather your things. And you've spent the better part of the night kind of damn near gave up your long rest in order to do this, but you didn't take a point of exhaustion or anything. You spent the better part of the night kind of learning this map as best as you could, and taking Drew's instruction to heart as best as you could. Go ahead and roll me a. You know what? This will still be kind of an investigation. Roll me an investigation.
Okay. That is 13 plus 19.
Hey, 19, nice. Okay. Like I said, you realize that this is a nautical map based on the stars, and you spent a few hours during the night kind of charting everything in the direction you need to go. Like you understand that when you're putting on a 19, you're kind of putting 2 and 2 together here. It's like, Sylvaden is in the east, and it's like you can kind of somewhat position yourself where the main capital city was, and how far you guys were, and maybe kind of where Last Earth was in terms of where in this map approximately you might be, and where you need to go in order to try to get back on track, or at least into a position where you might be able to see where you need to go. And you realize that you need to cross this river. It's like one way or another, you are on the wrong side of the river. And even with Hippie probably leading you, your best guess in this moment, your best educated guess, is that you need to cross this river. Whatever the position you need to be in order to get out of here, or at least in the right track, is on the other side. Smalls. Mm-hmm. You're also at the edge of the river, and you're kind of, I would say that you kind of oversee more of this instance, like looking at this map and kind of, observing all of this. Do you want to say or do anything? You're muted if you're talking, Smalls.
I apologize. I missed it. I had family stuff. What did you need from me?
Don't worry about it. It's like you're kind of on the edge of the river, looking at more of his, taking a look at this nautical map and realizing that you guys need to cross the river. Okay. You're on the wrong side of the river, basically.
We were on the wrong side of the river.
More of you take that information.
We have to cross.
Yeah. Smalls is looking up and down the river. Is there anywhere? Is it that? And looking across the river, how wide is it?
It's about 60 feet across. It's not huge, but it's a good. It's running. Like you guys feel that you're kind of at the midway point of where this thing is running downhill. So it's got a good bit of a churn here. So it's fairly treacherous.
Looking upriver, does it look any better?
No, it looks worse upriver. It looks a little bit calmer downriver.
Okay. So in agreement with Morb that we're going to have to cross, Smalls is going to suggest we move downriver, but stay on the shore of the river. If we have to move Malin, I'll carry her.
Okay. You guys relay this to the rest of the group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys want to do?
Should we do the same thing as before then? Someone stay here and then scout ahead just to make sure? Or are we all just going to go into the group?
I would
hold on to the rope. It'll make it a little easier so that somebody doesn't get swept downriver.
Well, we're not in the woods to get disoriented. We have a clear line of sight down the river. So we should be just fine.
I agree with Smalls.
Yep.
Okay. You guys want to attempt to throw this river?
Because if so, I can use my crossbow, tie the end of the rope, and see if I can hit a tree or something just to give it more.
Here, I got something better. I'm going to get the last dagger I have. I'm going to tie the rope to the end of it. And I'm going to use catapult. And you said it's 60 feet across, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use catapult on the dagger to hit a tree.
Okay.
Because I choose one object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within range that isn't being worn or carried. The object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in a direction you choose before falling to the ground, stopping early if it impacts against a solid surface.
Okay, I dig it. Okay. Just roll me an attack real quick. Need to make sure it's like easy.
It'd be a dexterity save.
Oh, well, it's a fucking tree, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna even bother.
That's why I wanted to use that, since it's not a roll that I make.
Fucking A. Okay, I dig it. What is honestly, what is catapult? This is the first time you've used this spell. What does catapult look like?
Yeah, it's one of the artificer spells I chose that I haven't had a chance to use.
Like a fucking warp trebuchet.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Morb goes into this weird amorphous form that almost looks like a weird trebuchet. He balances himself with his feet and his hands, and then his head kind of elongates back into this weird, like, long neck-looking thing. His head turns into a bit of a bucket. He loads the dagger and the rope tied off at the end into his head, and then just launches it through to the other side. Morb trebuchet, and boom, nails it. You guys are hanging onto the edge of the rope. It's plenty of length at this point. You guys haven't broken the rope down. No, that's awesome. Okay, you guys have a length of rope connected to the other side in a tree here, plain clear of sight. You guys want to all attempt a fjord?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know you could do that, Morb.
Do I need to roll the damage?
No, you're just trying to connect it. You're not trying to damage it.
Yeah, because it causes 3d8 bludgeoning damage when it hits.
Don't blow up the tree.
I'd say you aim for a pretty big tree. You're okay. The biggest tree you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going first?
I think to show that it's safe, Morb will probably go first.
Morb, you approach the water, and as you kind of like you're holding onto the rope, and all of a sudden like that, but you approach the edge of the river. There's something is telling you to do something, but it's not the voice. It's not your son. It's not the same voice that you heard that was hungry. No, it's telling you this is something else. I guess you could say maybe it's your little like inner voice, maybe an instinct. It just says dive.
Oh.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to dive. I'm gonna hold onto the rope and dive.
You're holding on the rope?
Yeah. I think just to be safe, I'm gonna hold onto it and go under.
Go ahead and take a wild shape form away. You all notice as Morb was standing on the edge of the river here, he had just launched this dagger to the other side, landed it perfectly. The rope is nice and taut. It's tied off on the end. You guys have a nice like line basically to try and carry your to pull yourselves over to the other side of this river. But Morb, as he's holding onto the river, his body amorphouses itself and he begins to elongate. And you've all seen him kind of go into his puddle form before when he gets really nervous. And it's something similar to that, except when he puddles down, he coils. And he turns all of his, the equipment that's on his body, everything that he's carrying, morphs inside of his form. And he turns into this large, aquatic, water serpent. And he morphs into himself and he dives into the water. And you see this long, watery, almost like anaconda-like form swimming effortlessly to the other side of the river. Props himself up, crawls back up on the edge of the shore, and begins to morph back into his normal form. Shakes himself off, which is odd because he's made of water, but all of his gear and all of everything begins to take back into shape, and it's Morb again. Morb, you had no idea you could do that, but for some reason, it just felt right.
Interesting. I'm looking. I'm just like looking at myself, just like patting me, see like what the heck was that?
Hey, Morb, what else can you do? You've done two really cool things. You yelled him. So what else is going on, man?
I'm on the other side of the river by now, right, Marshall?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to hear.
So over the river, I probably couldn't hear you.
It's pretty roary.
So he took the rope too. So he has everything on the other side.
No, the rope's tied off. He was holding onto the rope, but then he kind of like morphed into this weird water snake type thing, and then just kind of swam across. So the rope's connected. You guys can use the rope. Who's next? Don't be shy. Smalls, you
I
next?
would. Yeah, I would say Smalls and Malin should go. Like that way we can watch and check.
While the viability of the rope is at its peak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he has an extra.
Malin is still in her very much so like fetal position right now. She is completely immobile. She's useless. She is.
Is there any way?
Whatever is wrong with her. Go ahead.
Is there any way that we would be able to use, like, my bedroll or something to kind of tie me against Smalls so that he has his arms free?
Yeah, I'd say you guys could use some of your gear to kind of just like he baby Bjorns you, so to speak.
I'm swaddled.
You are swaddled in this instance. Yes. Smalls, are you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. As you attempt to fjord this river, do you kind of like start walking into it?
As opposed to crawling?
As opposed to diving? What do you want to do?
Well, I literally have Malin strapped to me, so diving in head first might not be the best idea. Yeah, I'd say probably walk.
Okay. As you kind of start walking into the river, you remember, like, all of a sudden it dawns on you as you kind of like start fjording this river, the pushing of the waves and stuff like that, like the push of the current of this river, it's not really affecting you as much as you thought. And then you look down as you kind of like pushing your hand out. Your hand is almost like pushing a little bit of like I guess you could say a small force field, and is pushing the waves back. And you dawns on you, you won these gloves back in Roost. These gloves were designed and given to the lumberjacks of Roost. They're designed to help them climb and swim while pushing logs down the river and out of the woods. And it dawns on you just that these are magical, and it's giving you a bit of an advantage as you're trying to fjord this river, even while carrying Malin.
Oh.
The DC for you is lowered by 10. And that you have had a long rest and you are no longer at disadvantage, go ahead and roll me an athletics check at advantage while carrying Malin.
Okay. First one's an 18.
You're good.
And second one's a 21.
You literally just like one-handed, like you're holding on to Malin, cupping her underneath in this like weird baby Bjorn thing that you've designed, and holding on to the rope at the top. And your massive form, you literally just kind of like walk across this river, no issue. The current is kind of like splashing up against you. Malin, you're getting soaked, obviously, but it's a relatively easy walk as you just traverse across this river. Malin and Smalls are safely across the other side.
Sweet.
Did he walk on water? Is that what we saw?
Essentially, he is fjording this river without. He's literally holding his hand out and just like, nah, fuck this. Holding the river.
You shall not pass water.
Parting the Red Sea.
He just became Moses mixed with.
No, he's like, nah, fuck this. Fuck your river. DC
Thank
lower,
you all
no?
for bearing with me and walking me through that one, Marshall. I had, yeah.
You got kid shit going on, man. You're good. Who's next? Yeah, the 8-foot Goliath makes it look easy. Who's next?
I just saw two people shapeshift or like do crazy powers. I'm like, me next. Me next.
Question for you.
Smalls
is on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody else that needs help across? After making it look that easy, I can traverse back and forth and continue to help others so that they don't get hurt.
Sure. If you want to go back, make me another athletics check at advantage. DC is 10.
Maybe set me down first.
Yeah, maybe set Malin down first.
Obviously.
I'll help untie.
Monroe,
Well,
as you
wow, dude, that's trying to screw me at this point. It was at advantage, thank God, because that's 12.
Ooh, okay. You get a little bit harder as you kind of like make your way back across. Like a couple times you stumble, it's like a loose rock underfoot or something, almost catches you, dunks your head under, but you're able to kind of catch yourself and make your way back across a little bit more cautiously.
All right, who's next?
Monroe's going to go next, but Monroe, as you approach, though, I think we just lost her.
I'm probably resetting her at because of the muting bug.
Yeah, it happens. But Smalls, you're back across. Oh, there she is.
Who else needs help?
Monroe, you want to go next?
Smalls is there to help.
Really excited.
Monroe, you approach the edge, and it's like you have a connection to water. It's like you can't really explain it, but all of a sudden your chest begins to glow, and you have this like warm, like happy sensation. Like, oh fuck yeah, I got this. And there's every instinct inside of you is telling you to dive. You dive?
Yeah.
As you dive in, you go head first. Like you are not graceful in the slightest. You're not a fucking diver. You've never really done this before. You just gotta go ass over tea kettle as you dive into the river here, and it jerks you down river so fucking hard it almost like snaps like the bone in your shoulder. But all of a sudden you realize like, whoa shit, okay, I got this. Wait, what's going on? Sword on your side. There's something that speaks to you from there. As you grab onto it, you feel like a calming sensation. As you grab out and you unsheath your sword, literally, it's like something drives you to grab it. You unsheath and you just point it forward, and you feel as if you could battle the strongest waves. You are walking and moving through water as if you're just walking down the street.
I'm David Hasselhoff, y'all.
You are Hasselhoffing the fuck out of this river right now. And you make it to the other side. You're about 40, 60 feet down, and from where Malin is laid down. Took you a second to like take it off, like, okay. So it took you a second to figure it out, but all of a sudden you realize, yeah, water don't scare me. Whatever it is that's happening to you, whatever it is that you have collected everything here, water is not your enemy. Water is your friend.
I'm so giddy right now. I'm like, I too have been chosen.
Who else is next?
Well, Ellie still needs to cross.
You want to utilize the Smalls the small boat here, or do you want?
I would, because
Smalls Express.
Hey, Marshall, quick
Ellie is
question.
not a swimmer.
What is Angus doing while we're crossing?
He's just kind of hanging out over there. He's getting on top of his beetle, like trying to figure this out.
Gotcha.
First person that's kind of that's thought about. Yeah, Angus is still here. Angus may or may not be a great swimmer. You're not sure, but that beetle probably not a good swimmer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How we're gonna get that across.
Matt, do you want to take Ellie across first?
You mean Smalls?
Or Smalls, yeah. You want to take Ellie across first?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, go ahead and roll me that. You need to your DC because you're carrying somebody is back to 15, but go ahead. You're still rolling at advantage because of your closeness.
Okay.
And I am much taller than Malin.
Well, that's not good.
Oh boy.
Oh, there we go. That's much better. 26.
26. There you go. Relative, same kind of deal. The Smalls just trudges this fucking river without an addition. You can describe how you want to carry Ellie. Ellie, if you want to do anything special, you take it from me.
Can I just?
I'm just gonna sit her on my shoulders. We're gonna go. I'll just have her sit on my shoulders.
But I'm 5'10".
And I'm almost 8 feet.
I know that it's pretty. So it'd be almost like I'm walking on water. Okay.
I'm just gonna throw you up there like we're playing chicken in the pool.
Yeah. Ah! Oh my goodness. You are so strong. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for bringing me
Is there
across.
anybody else? Are there
You wanna
others that
make
are going to need the Smalls Express?
very possible. Smalls, you want to make your way back across?
The robot, because the robot is not very athletic.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, Smalls is going back.
I'm sorry.
Roll me another athletics. Just don't get less than 10. You're still at advantage on this.
Woo.
Yeah, I got a
Has
16.
You're good. Make it back across. You're gonna haul. You're gonna haul Argus. So that's another 15. Still at advantage. Don't get less than a 15.
while Smalls is rolling, can I ask Ellie if Ellie heard a voice at all to say dive at all?
Sure.
Smalls Express chugs along at a 22.
Hell yeah.
Fucking A. Argus, you are safely across.
Your rations will
Ellie?
taste good this evening, my friend.
I'm sorry,
What?
Lauren. I didn't hear what you said. I was watching everybody come across.
I think everyone's hearing the same voice, right? Like we're all hearing dive. Like
No,
it's pretty
no,
cool.
ma'am. No,
Oh, you're
no,
not?
sir. No, sir. I heard nothing. That's why I was like,
I
I'm
also
gonna
believe
need
there's
some
a
help.
Drew.
Actually, I go ahead and did it for Drew. Drew actually uses his wild shape, goes into a form, and this is a form that you guys haven't seen before. It's actually a panther, and
Oh, brother.
it's a bit of an odd looking panther. It's kind of an off gray black color, like it's like an old man panther. So it's got a bit of a blotchy hair, and it's almost has these weird um, I guess you could say like as if a rose has thorns, or like like big briars. Briars are coming out of the top of its head, almost like a weird looking crown, and also up the top of its feet and at the tip of its tail. And he trudges across the river, no problem. So Drew is across, Argus is across, Smalls, Joe to the no problem, Malin, Ellie. Okay, now it is time for Angus and the Beetle. You guys planning to accomplish this?
Delicately.
I think we use the Smalls Express for Angus, and then we try to tie the rope around the beetle to try and like lead it across.
Maybe we should
Okay.
tie the beetle
I think
first
that might be the
and
best.
then bring Ingus over so Ingus can keep the beetle content.
Yeah.
Just order of operations theorem here.
Okay, who's going? You guys doing the Beetle first?
How much does this beetle weigh?
It's a pretty big fucking beetle. This thing hauls. This thing moves a wagon, so it's going to be about
Probably the size of a
ton,
rhino.
give or take. It's not that big, but it's definitely the size of a large cat, a very large cat.
I'm picturing like
Like
a giant
1,000,
rhinoceros
like
beetle.
1,000 pounds.
Nah, it's not that big. It's like take a decent sized Brahmin or a decent sized like an Angus cow. It's about
So
1,800, 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, a little under a
Oh.
U.S. ton.
How far are
Little
we
more, little.
away? How far are we going across the river?
60 feet.
Little more than Smalls could throw. Okay, got it.
No, but I was just thinking if Ellie could do speak with animals and try and calm the beetle.
You absolutely can. It'll help. Couldn't hurt.
All right. Can I go ahead, try it?
What's the distance on speak with animals? Is there a distance? I mean, can't exactly talk from one side of the river to the other. You were on the opposite side of the river.
Wow, it doesn't say. It just says one action and it lasts for 10 minutes. Oh,
Right.
range would have to be next to me. Sorry. Because
Okay.
it's self, right? That would be my range.
Mm-hmm. You're basically talking to something and you're on the other side of the river. We already determined that it's too hard to hear from the other side of the river.
When it's
Okay.
self, it means you cast it on yourself.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and it says that you might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor or
You're
to
not
do
next to the
something.
beetle, so it's not going to work.
Okay.
You'd have to cross over with Smalls and talk to the beetle. How you guys want to do this?
Hmm.
Is Lucky gonna be on top too?
Lucky's still over there too.
mhm.
One of you remembered.
Since Smalls, you're able to go back and forth.
I have one question, Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to use my telekinetic movement?
You can certainly try. You're not looking too good right now.
I know.
So how do you want to do this?
If we had somebody go back across and tie off the beetle,
Mhm.
I can work. I can pull on the rope to help pull the beetle across.
Mhm.
I have my handy dandy sword here. I can.
Yeah,
That works for you.
I have this very handy dandy
Cover me to go
lance.
back and tie.
and I don't necessarily need the rope to cross. Right? Was I using the rope to cross, Marshall?
It was helping, but it's not necessary. Matt Monroe makes a good point, though, that they're able to traverse water with like no problems. Like they can swim all through.
Monroe.
Right. But if we send one of them back across the river, they can use that. But then we still have to worry about Angus. Can Angus cross?
Maybe he's not too big on conversation. Nobody's asked him.
Okay. Morn. How about one of you goes back across and ask Angus if he can get across? If he can, then we'll just send him. If he cannot, why don't you signal me with waving, putting your arms in a big X over your head or something? I will come back across and I will bring him across. And then if you will tie off the beetle after that, I will help pull the beetle across.
Can Ellie message Ingus and give him this information?
What's the distance on message?
120.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I will message, give him the information, what we are going to do. We need to get across the river and we need help with the beetle.
He's willing to help with the beetle, but he also puts a big X up in the air. He is not a strong swimmer.
Okay. So I need to use the rope to get him across. So that way I keep that DC a little lower. How about I go across first and I bring Angus back? And does somebody more, or do one of you want to come with? Stay with the beetle so the beetle doesn't just run off.
Let me check my animal handling. More, what would be yours? Because mine is a +0, so it's just a straight shot roll for me.
Hey, whichever one of you guys goes over, I have a fun little mask.
I have a +3, but I also only have one wild shape left
Can
above
I
the table.
Can I disguise self and become Ingus and lure the beetle that way?
Could try.
What help is that going to do, though?
Yeah, but you're not over there.
Right.
I know, right? But I mean, if I go back with Smalls, because you're not there yet, or are you on the other side already?
No, I'm still on the far side of the river with everybody else. But bringing you back across defeats the purpose. I'm trying to get Angus across using the rope. And then I'd have to go back across, bring you back across, and then try to pull the beetle across.
All right. So does Inga said he doesn't want to go though, right?
He's not a strong swimmer.
Oh, he can't swim.
Hmm.
So,
Okay, never mind.
Morn, I think we take the
Yeah, it's my best
take-
bet. I can traverse whenever I want to across this
Right.
thing. So
that's be our best bet. And I have a +1 with animal handling, so I can try talking to the beetle.
oh,
At least
nice.
but then we have you who's there physically with it to keep it
Yep.
calm. Not to mention we still have to worry about Lucky.
Yeah.
So who is Lucky actually attached to? Because I can carry the damn thing across, but Lucky is until Lucky actually serves a purpose to Smalls, he hasn't really cared about it.
You can set him
But-
by me.
What's that?
Oh,
You can place him, like, have him come to me.
Just jump and swim the river? I mean, it is a wolf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we can give that a shot.
wait, you're gonna toss Lucky into the river and say, "Lucky, go"? What?
I'm open to suggestions here. Because if I start trying to carry,
hold on.
if I start trying to carry any kind of four-legged animal like that, if I start trying to carry it across the river and it doesn't want to go, and it's not comfortable with me, is going to thrash out. So we can try telling him to swim, and he can be called from the far side. Or I make 2 trips. I'm happy either way. Don't care. Or I can just grab the dog and see if I can throw his ass across the river.
Well, again, Ellie could disguise self as Drum and encourage Lucky across with you, so it wouldn't be as difficult.
That would make
That
sense.
would be, yeah.
So, Ellie, you'd be Drum on this side of the river to be like, "Here I am, Lucky."
Yeah, yeah, and bring him, like clap or call him as Drum would have.
There you go. I think that's a solid plan. All right, Smalls is headed back across the river.
And I'll follow suit.
Okay, Monroe, you make it across with no problem. You have a swim speed. Smalls, go ahead, just roll me. Don't get lower than 10. You're still at advantage.
Yeah, I got a 15.
You're good. Okay, you guys are both on the other side of the river. What are you doing?
Okay, so we're gonna.
I'm standing by Beetle.
Yep. So I'm gonna start with Lucky.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick
All
up
right.
Lucky.
And everyone sees Ellie turn into Drum.
Okay. Drum, do you try to disguise yourself as you're trying to use your disguise self, right?
Yes.
Does disguise self turn you into an entirely different person, or does this just allow you to change your clothes?
It's a change shaping. It's a shape changing. But if you're close enough and you reach out to touch me, you know it was me. But the illusion is that I have shape changed.
Okay. Let's see. Armor, weapons, and belongings look different until the spell ends. You can change your body type, but you must adopt the same basic arrangement. Yeah. Okay. You turn yourself into Drum.
All right.
All right. With Lucky, I'm just gonna kind of hug Lucky to me. I'm not gonna.
Just roll me a quick animal handling real quick.
Okay.
Basically, we're not looking for a 1 here.
Nat 20, motherfucker. Take that
Okay.
shit.
All right. No, like dogs can sense evil, and this dog senses no fucking evil on you whatsoever. He is tail wagging a little bit. He's like, his ears are cocked a little ever so slightly, but it's almost like an animal that's like, okay, what's your fucking game? Whatever, we're cool. Pet me.
Lucky's like, oh shit, Big Dad's actually paying attention to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like that sensation. Like, oh shit, okay, it's down.
And
All right.
Short Dad's across the river waving. Come on,
Okay.
come on, Lucky.
All right. You start hauling him across the river?
Yep.
Okay. You make it about 10, 15, 20 feet at most out in the river, and all of a sudden Lucky is gone from your arms.
What?
Gone. Like, just disappeared?
Mhm.
Or I lost him down the river, gone.
No, just disappeared. Ellie, he's at your feet.
Oh.
He
Wait.
has teleported out of your arms after seeing quote unquote Drum on the other side of the river. And he teleports about 40 feet. Blinks. Poof. And he's at your feet, Ellie. And I need you to make an animal handling check here at disadvantage.
Oh, he's going to be pissed.
I know. That was my fear.
Guys, my dog.
First one was a 19.
Mm-hmm. It's at disadvantage.
An 8.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
but I have an inspiration. I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay. You're still at disadvantage, so technically you re-roll twice, and you take the lower of the two again.
Yeah, I
Just
wouldn't
allows
do
you-
it.
It just allows
Wait.
you to re-roll.
Oh, I can't re-roll the lower one?
No, you have to re-roll
You have to roll
twice and
both.
take the lower of the two.
Okay.
Possibility of a nat 1, I wouldn't do it.
It's
No,
possible.
it was the same both times.
You're keeping the
The
8.
rolls were the same. I got an 8.
Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's a 6. Oh, but I can. Oh no, I already did my re-roll. But if they came
Yeah.
out the same,
Okay. You already used your re-roll. You take 9 points of piercing damage as Lucky bites on your arm and begins to like thrash. He immediately takes off into the woods.
how many points?
9.
I was just trying to help.
In the split sensation that in a split second that it is from when he teleports out of Smalls' arms to the other side of the river and he is at your feet, you get the sensation that this is the first time he's seen quote unquote Small Dad, as he knows he didn't come back through the portal. He sees you because he didn't notice that the transformation from the other side, the magical transformation. But your magic can't hide your smell. It can't hide who you really are. And you broke his heart. He bites down and he runs off. You're not Small Dad. Smalls.
Okay,
I don't
back
make
to
you Smalls. I'm not going to make you roll to get back on the edge. So do you want to continue across, or do you want to go back to assist the beetle?
No, I'm going to go back to the beetle and
Okay.
to Angus. But
Okay.
something that was figured out outside. Argus had handed me a Mask of the Beast.
Oh shit!
It gives animal friendship 3 times a day as charges.
Motherfucker.
Yep. It's just been collecting dust, my friend. If anyone listened to me on the first
I
trip,
fucking love it.
they would have had it for Lucky.
Well,
But the beetle is important,
okay.
and Lucky will probably come back, I hope.
So, I couldn't cast shield, right? That's on an attack, and I was attacked.
I'd say at this instant, no, you just take the damage. You weren't expecting to attack.
You were caught off guard.
I was totally.
And honestly, you deserve it. So, Smalls, what are you doing?
All right. So, I'm trying to figure that out.
My bad, I'm not muted.
So, I will go over, tell Angus that I'm going to bring him across next. But first, I'm going to put the mask of the beast on and talk to the beetle and let him know that we're going to get him across, but I need him to stay there for now.
Okay. What exactly does animal friendship do? Somebody read the spell to me.
So this
Let me hear
spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. Choose a beast that you can see within range. It must see and hear you. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails. I assume it is not that high since
It's honestly no. Beetle's
it's
not. I think it's like
2,
a
I
3.
think.
Yeah, it's like a 2 or a
Yeah.
3. So no, this
So yeah,
you're
it
fucking
does
good.
continue. Otherwise, the beast must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by the spell's duration.
Beetle's
I think it's only like
Beetle's pretty.
11.
Nah, we're good. I'm gonna say the beetle fails. Like it trusts you in this moment. The mask of the beast.
Yeah.
You're utilizing that magic item for the first time. Fuck yeah. No, beetle's cool. It's like okay. Yeah. It gives you. It doesn't have a language. It doesn't really like speak back to you. But the chitters and like the sensation that this creature is giving you, it's like, okay, cool. We'll wait.
And it lasts 24 hours. So they cool for
Fuck yeah.
24 hours.
Okay. You're fuck yeah. Okay. I love that. Bring it.
So yeah. So Smalls is explaining to the beetle that it's going to stay right there. We got Morn with it to keep him calm. But once Morn ties the rope to him, I'm going to help pull him across, and we need him to put all his effort into getting across that river.
Okay.
And
You're gonna
then
haul
I'm
Ingus
going.
first, right?
What's that?
You're gonna haul Ingus first.
Yeah, so that way I can follow the rope to get Angus back, and then we tie the rope to the beetle, and I'll use strength to help pull the beetle across.
Fucking A. Okay, go ahead and roll me at advantage again. It's 15 to get across with Ingus. He's a stout boy, but he's no bigger than anybody else you can carry.
Well, thank God that was at advantage. Woo-hoo! All right, guys, my luck at crossing this river is starting to wear thin. 16.
16. Okay, you get Ingus across. It's like he is not a strong swimmer, guys. Like you get the impression that Ingus probably doesn't even know how to swim. In fact, he's terrified of water. Not big on water. So you guys think back on like when you guys were on the boat traveling down from Opus Day, like back to Trinaborg. Yeah, this guy was not big on being near the edge of the boat ever. So Ingus is safely across. Go ahead and roll me again. It's just don't get less than a 10 to get back across.
Well, I don't have to get back across, do I?
If you're gonna haul you're gonna try and haul the beetle, right? Or
I'm gonna Morn's gonna tie the beetle off, and I'm gonna use the other end of the rope and help pull the beetle across using strength.
Okay. I fucking dig it. Okay. So Mornroe, you're gonna tie the beetle off?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. Since you're kind of taking your time, it could be an advantage. It's fine.
Sweet. $21.
21, beautiful. This is a solid knot. Just like you guys have like so much of this length of rope that you've been tying off between Ellie's like superior solid knots that you drove earlier, and then what you've been able you wrap it around his beetle-like horns and his head, create this like kind of makeshift harness. It's not coming off of his head. It's going to take a hell of a lot for this knot to fail. You did fantastic. So it's good and solid. You guys are going to try and pull, kind of coerce the beetle across.
Yeah, we're gonna call the beetle, I'm gonna use that friendship that I just, kind of tug on the rope. But before we do that, I want to take one end of that rope. It's tied to a dagger that's in a tree, right?
Yeah.
Let's tie that rope to the tree, so that way it doesn't just rip the dagger out and let the beetle go swimming down the river.
Okay.
So who's got tying skills? Let's tie that rope off as best we can to that tree.
Ellie the Weaver.
Ellie can, but her arm's sore. Okay, so I'll tie it off.
You betrayed
My
the dog's
weaving.
trust.
I know.
Go ahead and roll
I
me
know. It's not the first time.
Go ahead and roll me sleight of hand, but I'm not going to give you advantage because you got bit. Shouldn't lie to dogs.
21.
You're okay. Solid knot. You yank. You're like it takes a lot of like smalls. It even takes like a lot of effort for you. After more, jam this fucking dagger into the other side. It takes a lot for you to kind of dig it out. But you get it loose. Wrap it around. Ellie 21, fantastic. Double loop, triple knotted, whatever the hell you want to call it. Good and solid. You guys have got a good anchor on the beetle. You got a good anchor on the other side. You want to try and hoist this thing across?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to take the combined efforts of everybody's plus strength scores, which only is Smalls and Drew. Drew gives a +1. Smalls, you give a +4. I was going to set the DC at 20. It's lowered to 15. Smalls, I'm going to give you advantage still, as everybody can, whoever wants to make this roll, go ahead. But Smalls, I'm going to let you make the actual roll while everybody is assisting. So 15 at advantage.
All right. And just to be certain, before we do this, I'm going to enter rage to add the +2 for that.
Okay, I'll lower it by 2. 13 is what you need to be.
Okay. First roll is a 15. You said at advantage?
At 13, yeah, you just need to be at 13. You beat it.
I'm gonna. Okay,
Let's
17.
see what you get. Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
what
if I had pulled a 20, I was gonna be happy. So.
Okay, no, you didn't beat it by 5 or more, so you don't get nothing special. Holy shit, though. No, you guys are able to kind of coax this beetle across. This thing's fucking huge. He's not exactly the biggest, most dexterous creature on the planet, but with the use of the Mask of the Beast, you guys is planning, everything, attention to detail here. He comes across. It takes a couple of, it takes a good like 30, 45 seconds. He's underwater for a little bit, but he comes just kind of like waddling out the other side eventually, shakes it all off. Guys untie him. He's happy as a clam. You have managed to get everybody across this thing and not lose a single soul, except for Lucky, who has run off somewhere. Okay. Smalls, you look up in the sky. It's getting about, it's mid-afternoon at this point. You guys have lost you guys started this thing pretty much like an hour after dawn. It's now about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like time just fucks with you guys here.
You read my mind. I was going to ask that next.
Okay. Still got a few hours of daylight. You guys want to camp here at the river's edge, or do you want to try and move further in?
Smalls is going to suggest we move further in.
Well, how's Mal? But Ellie wants to know how Malon's doing. Can she move further in? Because she's the one that's hurt.
I'll pick her up again.
Oh, okay. I was curious.
I'll continue to swaddle. I'll just continue to swaddle her and carry her.
Marshall, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Would my knowledge on that map, would that mean I am probably better at trying to navigate at night?
You would be better at navigating at night because you need the stars in order to navigate.
Okay. How high is the tree line? Like the canopy?
120, 150 feet, give or take. I mean, it's pretty tall trees.
How high? 50, you said 50?
120, 150 feet.
Gotcha.
It's pretty tall. They're pretty tall trees.
Gotcha.
When Allie goes to check on me, I'm just gonna be glaring at her.
Sure.
When who goes to check on you? When Allie does?
Ellie.
Ellie.
Oh, Ellie. Okay. Okay. What do you guys want to do?
Admittedly, Smalls isn't even going to wait for answers or consensus at this point. I'm just going to pick up Malin and be like, all right, which way do we need to go? And look at Morb.
Better at navigating with the stars. So we could rest here, and then once nightfall, I could probably help guide us through.
feel we should rest since you don't know a good direction. Okay. Can Small make either a survival or perception check to see if there's any, if he notices anything, signs of life on up or down this river, directions that would likely send us in the correct way?
Sure. Roll me a survival or nature, whichever. Roll me. You pick a skill and tell me how you justify it.
Real quick, which direction did Lucky run into?
You guys were moving north across the river. I'd say that he kind of continued north by northwest. He kind of just ran off the edge.
Gotcha.
Survival for 19.
19. You know that you guys you've been navigating by Morb's recommendation. Ellie's tying off, like the way that you guys, you know that you're still continued north, but without a clear sense of like, are you guys going to continue to do what you were doing? Like, okay, I need to tie off and like continue with the thing of like tying a tree off, and then every 300 feet continue to be the same, and then moving chunk by chunk, without a clear sense of like, okay, we need to be heading this direction, and we're going to continue for this, this long. You guys could move 15 minutes away from this river and wind up right back at the river without a clear sense of what you're going to do. You don't know.
Okay. But
so you guys got, you know, Smalls, that you need a plan in order to navigate.
Right.
You've all realized that the forest fucks with you.
Right, and I'm working on that. More, which direction did you noted different towns in different directions based off of the stars, correct?
I know that we're headed north.
You know we're headed north. Didn't I hear something? You recognize that one of the towns was east or west?
I think that's how Marshall described how I was like pinpointing where we were.
Right.
But I just thought of it with Lucky. Drum was the one that would pop him in, pop him out. So there has to be some kind of connection. Could have Lucky know where Drum is? Could they have run in the direction of where Drum is?
Possibly picked up a scent. That would make sense.
Should we try heading in that direction?
Yeah, we can. See if we can't find Drum. I suggest that we all get back with the rope, make sure that we all stay together as a group. Travel until it gets dark.
It's a good plan. Try and find our friends during daylight and then try and find our way out during the nighttime.
Okay. You guys continue with the 300 feet thing and kind of continue north by northwest?
Yep.
Okay.
We can say that's the survival check.
Yeah, who's leading this thing?
I was going to say that's where that survival check would come in because it's been Smalls that's been tracking the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tracking time.
Sure. Do you want to roll that survival check?
Sun rises in the east, sets in the west, doesn't it?
Yep.
So, can I use that survival check of 19 to kind of put us in that direction?
Sure. I'm going to say the 10, 15, and 20 gets you different results.
Oh, you want me to roll again?
What did you get? 19?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on a second. All right. You guys continue with the same process, like north by northwest. Like I said, sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Like you guys have got a general sense of direction, or you know that you could better navigate at night. But at the same time, you also know you guys have really limited resources, and if you wait and only travel when it's safe, it's probably not going to bode well for you in terms of time. Mm-hmm. You guys continue forward, and just before night sets, just before night sets. You guys are only moving about 300 feet at a time. It takes you a while to kind of like move. One person moves out, ties off a tree, tugs on the rope. You guys move as a group. You're all staying together. The beetle, everything else that's moving with you. It does take a while. You get about another maybe mile, maybe 2 miles before everything kind of starts to set. Then all of a sudden, you guys come across a circle of stones. Each of the stones is about 7-8 feet tall, but as small as it is, really. But there's a lot of them, and they're in a perfect kind of like circle, from what you can tell. And just on the edge of that circle is a man. You all recognize the style of clothing. He appears to be he appears to be a wildling. Honestly, it's the same kind of clothing that they were wearing. And he is just sobbing. He is sitting next to the stones and just sobbing his eyes out. What do you do?
You said there's a
Can I
person in the
Channel
stones?
divine sense.
There's a person sitting next to the stones, yeah.
Can I channel a divine sense to detect good and evil stuff?
Yeah, what is it? It expects like celestials, fae, or what does it pick up?
I believe it's Fae.
It's sense hollow spell, the location of celestial fiend undead. That's it. Within 60
Okay.
feet.
There's no celestial fiends or undead. There's no hallowed spell. No, it's just
And no good or evil. It could detect good and evil, basically.
no. You're not picking up anything really particularly good or evil from here. No,
Okay.
I'd say you don't pick up anything really. Nothing that's really setting off your spidey sense. Okay. What do you guys do?
Well, they're dressed like Ellie.
Yeah.
So she's gonna step forward slowly, and kind of bow towards them.
You walk forward. This person's kind of like his head is like he's down in his hands. He's kind of like bobbing up and down. His hands are on the back of his head. He's kind of like you're rocking back and forth. He seems to be mumbling something. As you get a little closer, you don't say anything, but you just kind of bow to him.
Well, I kind of bow towards him, and can I understand what he's saying? Can I roll a perception check?
Sure. Roll me a perception check.
All right. That is a 23. It's a nat 20.
Beautiful. You definitely pick up that he's saying something. He has his hands back, rocking on the back of his head. He's rocking me. You mock me, stone soldiers. Hopping in, hopping out, in and out and in. Like robins on a woodpile. It's impossible. 25 and 26. They come and they go and they take my wits with them. They doff their caps and steal my sense. I cannot leave until I know the true number. I cannot.
Excuse
Marshall,
me.
just so you know, the higher ends of that voice cut out. So we
Yeah.
understood what you said, but if you go any higher in pitch, it's gonna cut out on us. So just as a heads up.
I hate this fucking audio. He says, "You mock me, stone soldiers, hopping in and out and in, and out and in, like robins on a woodpile. It's impossible. 25 and 26. They come and go and take my wits with them. They doff their caps and steal my sense. I cannot leave until I know the true number. I cannot."
Smalls is going to look at the group and say, "Pretty sure these woods have driven him crazy. We should just bypass."
Should we put him out of his misery?
No. You might know. Don't listen. Did you hear what he said? Hop in and out of the stone.
He's babbling. And
No,
literally,
he's not.
part of it, he literally stated that they steal his sense.
Right.
Handsome, if you're saying something, we can't hear you. I can hear you in the other room. I can't hear you on here.
There's somebody. There's. Thank the spirits. Thank the spirits. Oh God. Oh, thank you. 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 Hi. Hi. Can you all help me, please? Please. Please.
With
I'm
what?
just trying to get. I just want to get home. I was out here with my group. We were scouting. We were hunting. I just want to get back home to Last Earth. I don't. I lost. I lost track of everybody. These stones. They say that if you can count them, there's a portal that'll take you home or where you need to go. I don't know, but every time I count, can you help me? Please, can you help me? Oh, please help me. Please help me.
Well, Ellie just kind of kneels down in front of him and says, "Are you trying to get back to the last hearth?"
Yes. I just want to go home. We got so lost. I've been out here for days. I heard a story that these stones can get. There's a portal at the center that if you count all the stones, the portal will take you where you need to go. But I every time I don't know. Every time it's different. Let's try. I don't know what to do. Please, can you help me? Please.
I'm gonna whisper to Smalls and just be like, I don't like this at all.
Smalls is just gonna slightly nod in agreement, like, yeah, no, I absolutely agreeing with that statement.
I've been trying to count them, but they just it changes. I don't know. I just want to go home. I miss my
Who
wife.
told you to count the stones?
What? Nobody told me. I've heard stories about these damn fairy circles, these stones. I don't know what the hell they're called, but it's just like they said if you can count the stones, if you count them correctly, that a portal will take you where you need to go or where you need your home. I just want to go home. Please, I miss my wife. I miss my children. I just want to go home.
Where's home?
The last Earth.
What's your name?
My name's Gond.
How long have you been
Gone.
stuck in Gond?
I don't know. A couple days, maybe. I don't know. I ran out of food. I've just been here. It's like I have nowhere else to go. I have no other way of. I'm stuck here. I'm so fucking hungry. I just want to go home. I just
So
want to see my
you
wife.
were out.
My kids.
So you were out
What?
here hunting with a group. What happened to your group?
I don't know. We got separated. I lost them. I don't know. I think I wandered off the forest. This is my first time out. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that would explain how a hunter ran out of rations and couldn't continue to feed themselves.
I'm not a hunt. I don't know. I thought I could handle it. I don't know.
So what skills do you have?
I can't count. Obviously, I can't count. Every time I go around, the stones are different. It's 25. It's 26. It's 25. It's 26. I don't know.
Got it. You've lost your mind.
Um,
Here's the thing. We have limited rations, and we have a group that's been together for some time. If you have any hope of us taking care of you and bringing you with us, you're going to need to be useful somehow. How are you going to be useful to our group?
What? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the stones. Please, I don't know. I don't know. Just want to go home.
Do you know Elder Ingrid?
Yes, I know Elder Ingrid. Please, I just want to go home.
Okay, but who did you come out here with? Who led you?
I just came out here with my hunting group.
Who was the leader of your group?
There's Elrid, and then there was Maria. There was about 4 or 5. Oh God, how many was there? Oh God, how many was there? There was a number of us. We bedded down. I remember there was camp, and then I woke. I don't know. Did I wander off? Oh God, did I? I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Smalls is going to turn to the group, kind of huddle us up a little bit. Say, listen, I'm not opposed to him following with, but he is not a part of this group. He has obviously lost his mind, and I do not want to waste our rations for ourselves on him. If he wants to tag along at his own peril, so be it. Let's keep an eye on him. But otherwise, we need to keep moving. He's wasted enough of our time.
But what about the stones?
The stones that continue to change count and he is babbling about, I'll throw one at his head.
Is there a portal?
Maybe. Look, I'm sorry. I can hear you. It's like I haven't lost all my yet. Listen, my friend always told me about these fairy circles and these stone, like these portals. There are portals out here at the end of the Sacred Wood that if you could see the riddle, or if you could, whatever it is, that they will take you where you need to go. It's how the ancient ones used to navigate through here. I just don't know how to solve it. I've counted these stones 1,000 times. It's always different. And please, if you're here, maybe we can figure it out. I've been here by myself for days. I'm just me. I'm not. I don't know. I just want to go home. Please, don't leave me here. Don't leave me.
Is anybody here familiar with Fey magic?
I was gonna say, would Morn have any idea?
I mean, more not particularly. You're not like Fey magic isn't really your. You know what? Roll me religion. Like I would say at disadvantage. Anybody else? If you have any skills, or you want to check history, you want to check religion, what do you want to do? This is up to you guys.
Can I roll Arcana?
I was gonna ask the same thing.
Yeah, roll me Arcanas. It's just
I have
flat rolls,
14 on religion.
14? Okay.
Yeah.
More roll, like something in your memory, like it's like that there's like wild magic out there. It's like it literally, it's called wild magic. It's like that the strangest things, the most mundane things, can hold the most ridiculous power that you can imagine, especially in a place like this. It's like that the most implausible can become the most obvious at the drop of a hat. But this isn't exactly something that you're studied on, not your forte. You gotta just stab people. You're not a magic kind of person.
I got a 22 on Arcana.
22 on Arcana. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 14.
There's a 14. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got an 11.
11 for Arcana.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, between all of that, there's a lot of magic in these circles between the three of you. It's like even on 11, you can tell there's a ton of magic coming from these stones. Whatever it is, there's something here. It's not exactly obvious, but there's a lot of magic centered in these stones.
Hold on. Let me see. I have. Can I cast Detect Magic?
Sure.
I'm able to tell sense magical effects, and I learned what school of magic it is.
Okay. On Detect Magic, you can tell there's a great, like I said, same with your Arcana. There is a great focus of magic here. It's old magic. There is indeed something here that you are picking up. There is illusion magic. But there is I guess you could say transmutation magic. There is a portal. There's enough here to tell that there is something here that what he is saying is probably true. but there is a great deal of illusion magic effect here. So obviously this is some kind of crazy fey magic, that there is a riddle to it, that there's something you need to solve in order for it to activate properly. But what he's saying isn't exactly false.
With that, because it's a range of 30 feet, am I getting anything from him? Any type of magic on him?
Oh, it's kind of all kind of muddled together with the stones. I mean, not really anything particularly. No.
Gotta ask.
Like you're focused on the stones. I would say it's like you're not really picking up anything that is different with him, at least.
Does he have a satchel nearby or anything?
A satchel?
Or any belonging to him, like a bag or anything?
Yeah, it seems to be like he's got a bow on his back. He got a small like short sword or dagger on his hip. He's got a couple of packs like on his side, like I guess you could say a satchel.
Can I sneak in and see what he's carrying to get an idea if he's what he says of anything?
I mean, you can certainly try. You need to roll me stealth. It's going to be you're in plain sight of him. It's like this is going to be a very high DC to sneak in and try and do something. You're going to need.
I will. No, we don't even need to do that. I will intimidate him to come over and let us inspect him to make sure he's not a threat.
Okay, roll me intimidation.
Oh well.
I get what you're doing, but let's
I love you, Smalls.
Sweet.
Speed up the process.
Oh, he's gonna giggle at me.
Can I give a help
Oh, this is
action
even better.
since Mark sees what I'm
better.
trying to
He's
do?
gonna giggle at me. Hold on.
Yeah, sure.
What's that?
Yeah, she can give you the help advantage or advantage.
Since Mark, so I'm trying to.
Yeah, let's
check
fucking
him
muscle
out.
this thing.
All right. So I roll at advantage then?
Yeah.
Good, because that first one was... Oh, the second one's worse. Oh, my God.
Sorry, it's because I'm also there.
Yeah, a little bee straps.
You have a bee baby Bjorn to your chest right now. It's pretty hard for you to act intimidating.
A baby.
Yeah,
So do we see any writings on the stones?
Absolutely.
Can I interpret them?
Sure. You gonna use comprehend languages?
Yep.
Sure.
All right.
we're just going to go with the fact that intimidation thing did not even work. I stumbled just trying to step up to him and fell to a knee. I protected Malin, but I fell to a knee and looked like an idiot. We'll go with that.
He stays kind of on his perch. Like he's super fucking nervous. Like this guy is desperate. Like his cheeks are sunken. He looks like he hasn't eaten or drank anything in days. Like
at advantage, I rolled a 7.
Oof. Yeah, pretty hard to be intimidated with Baby Bjorn or with a baby Bjorn.
Yeah, like I said, I tripped. I fell forward. I look like an idiot. We'll go with that. I didn't even get a word. I didn't even get an intimidating word out.
So what is LEC?
There are tons of runes etched across these stones, just like there are back in Last Earth. They're written in Sylvan. They're written in Infernal. They're written in Deep Speech. Even some written in Celestial. It's old magic of this place. It's very hard to decipher because, like I said, it's a muddle of those words, almost like an amalgamation of the languages. But there are mentions of teleportation, travel, may the lost traveler, may the count lead them right, things like that. It's a weird amalgamation of like a riddle and a bunch of runes. You do get the impression that what he's telling you is like if you can count the stones correctly, the magic of the circle will open. It will allow you to utilize them. But there is references on you with your Arcana checks previously and with your comprehend languages. It's dear God. There are references to the portal taking you where you need to go.
Okay, so how do I relay that?
You can just relay it directly to the group. I just like whatever I just says. Like you're like, hey, this is.
Yeah, but so I'm just comprehending gibberish.
That's not gibberish. It's you're not a historian. It's hard for you to kind of decipher what's happening here. or like exact. Hang on a second. I got
But
a
even
phone
with
call.
comprehend, yeah.
Okay, we're good. No, yeah, it's like even with comprehend languages, you're picking up several different languages here, but it's not exactly. It's hard for you to decipher exactly what it's trying to tell you. It's like you don't speak all of these languages fluently. You're just using magic to understand what these languages are. From what you can
But
decipher, though,
I thought comprehend languages was comprehend.
yeah, you
So
can
I know what they
understand the
say.
languages. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't explain subtext to you. It's not going to give you the answer to the riddle.
Oh.
It's just like you know how to, like you understand, like, oh, this is written in Spanish. Oh, I can pick up every other word here. Yeah, I understand this. But it's not going to tell you exactly what the meaning is. It's like trying to read philosophy in another language.
Can I roll investigation? But before that, I'm gonna give myself guidance.
Sure.
Just like investigate the stones and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna use my inspiration to
Yeah.
counteract that natural one.
Yeah, that'd probably help.
Okay, that's better. That's a 14 plus 6, 30, 20 plus
20.
the
Great.
guidance,
Okay.
which is a 4, 24.
24. Same kind of deal. It's like you're picking up, like you, like I said, you have a thing for like recognizing language. You speak a lot of languages. Not a lot of the ones that are in here, but you understand, like working together with Ellie and her comprehend languages, you too can decipher, like, yes, what this guy is telling you is it's similar to what he's telling you. There is a riddle, there is something about the magic here that if you could decipher the riddle, if you can count the stones properly, that
I
there
know.
is something here that will activate transmutation magic, a portal that will take you where you need to go.
I wasn't trying to like count the stones. Like the count like the writing, like is there anything I can get besides would that investigation help me by counting the stones at all or no?
You can try. It's hard. You can't see all of the stones from your position. It's a pretty, like, think like Stonehenge. There's a big number. There's a pretty large number of these stones. They're all about 6, 7 feet tall. You'd have to walk the circle in order to count the stones. So how do you want to go about this?
Okay. I am going to cast another spell. I'm going to use Elevated Sight,
Okay.
which I cast by a skyward and use sight from a high vantage point, which basically 120 feet up above me, and I have 360-degree view from its location. Can I? And I can't see out of my regular body while that's up.
Okay.
Could I try counting them from there?
Sure. Roll me a d20 with advantage.
20 with advantage. Okay. 18.
18. You count 18 stones from your elevated position.
So, with Ellie's comprehend language, if she touches the stones, if I go around and touch all 18, would Ellie be able to read anything in a circle?
Do you want to try and count the stones?
Yeah.
Okay. Morg, do you say that there are 18 stones?
Mm-hmm.
You used your spell. You used everything there.
Yeah. So, because Morgan's unsure, because all the stuff that he's heard about, like Fey magic, is that they lie a lot.
You say 18 stones.
Okay, I'm gonna say 18. And say I counted 18.
Nothing happens.
So
Gone goes, see, that's what I tell you. It's like you can count them, they're different every day. Oh,
but
God.
it's 18. So that's a magical number.
You don't know.
Because
Do you want to count?
there's
Do you go and count the stones?
Yeah, I want to go around and put my hand on each one and see if I can comprehend each one with some significance.
Okay. Using the stones as your guide, go ahead and roll me a d20 with advantage.
That one was first one was a 15. Second was a 6, so 15.
15. You count 15 stones as you make your way back to the group. From one end, you start right at the dead center, the stone that is directly in front of this guy, and you walk your way around. You count 15 stones. Do you want to guess 15 stones?
Do I want to what?
Do you want to guess 15 stones?
Uh,
Time's ticking.
okay, yes.
Nothing happens. See, it's 2 guesses. That's 2 guesses. And there's only 3. You can only guess 3. Yeah, I'm sitting on my 3rd guess too. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Stones are different every time. See, little.
What
stones.
happens after 3 guesses?
I don't know. They said it was bad. It's just you shouldn't guess 3 times. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Should we just leave this behind then and continue what we were doing before?
How many numbers are in coordinates?
Are there many numbers in what?
Coordinates.
Coordinates?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on latitude and longitude, but usually
Yeah.
like 8.
Huh.
There's always a coven of 12.
Yeah, you're right. It's 12 usually for latitude, longitude there, Marshall.
12? Okay.
Yeah, and if you're using MGRS, then it's 10.
There we go. You guys have one more guess.
Well, there's
So elevated sight lasts for a minute, Marshall.
Mhm.
Could I try counting again
If
to
you
it
want
or
to.
no? I'm gonna try counting it, but I'm gonna keep the number in my head.
Okay. Roll me a d20 at advantage.
16.
Do you want to guess 16?
Marshall, I'm gonna do the same thing with Quaddle.
Okay.
D20.
Yep, d20 at advantage. You sending Quaddle around?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me a d20 at advantage. Who has 16?
That's a 4.
You only count 4 stones.
Marshall, if
weird.
I were to count, would it just be regular?
You'd have to walk around and count the stones. You can't really walk right now. Well, the smallest ones will take you around.
We're going on a trip in your favorite rocket ship.
I'm gonna use the message to Morb to tell him how many I counted.
Okay.
If I was gonna
More.
say the same thing.
Yeah. It's like you counted 16, he counted 4.
there are 10 letters in last hearth.
So, would I roll at disadvantage or regular?
So you could count normal. It's just smalls have to walk you around and count them.
Okay.
Up, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3.
I love you, Smalls. You're awesome.
I like this room.
Okay, so you'll walk me around so I can count.
Sure.
I
roll me
just
a
did.
D20
That's why I
advantage.
said up 2, 3, 4.
Why is it still an advantage? Are you sure that I would have advantage? Because everything
Yeah.
that I do is at disadvantage because of my exhaustion.
Sure. Yeah, you're still counting at advantage.
It's how he chooses the numbers. I think we have to. 2 people has to get the same number, right?
Maybe.
Or multiple people. That's just
Maybe?
that's Alex guessing.
You're good.
I rolled a 6 and a 9.
There's
Useless.
9 stones. You count 9 stones. Do you want to count? Do you want to say 9 stones out loud?
No, I don't.
Since Smalls was walking her around, he's going to go ahead and count as well.
Sure. D20 at advantage.
Smalls counted 19, but he's, again, not voicing that yet.
I don't like that everything's an advantage. It makes
19
me nervous.
stones.
And how many was the frickin' psycho dude claiming he counted?
25,
26.
26. It's like, yeah.
There are 12 signs in the zodiac. How many? It's usually a quorum of 12. There's 12. There's
Listen to
always
this.
12. Ellie's just
How many levels of hell are there?
Ellie's just mumbling and not saying it out loud.
Smalls is going to look at the team and say, we either guess a number or we need to move on. If we guess wrong, we'll face whatever the consequence is. If we guess right, then we can get out of here. But standing here doing nothing and just doing nothing
22.
is no good.
I was just getting frustrated.
What does the sky look like?
Yeah.
It's human. Dark hair, scruffy little beard, raggedy. His clothes are like, it's like I said, it's beaded leathers and stuff like that. It's clothes like from last Earth.
Wildling.
He's a wildling, by all appearances.
22. Major tarot.
Did you say this guy or the sky?
This guy.
I said the sky, but this guy works too.
This guy.
I'm gonna kiss the sky.
Yeah, what is it?
Like, what's daylight looking like right now?
Oh, sky.
It's-
SKY. The sky.
Oh, what's the sky? What's the
It
sky
was
looking like?
sky.
It's definitely encroaching on evening. I'd say 5, 6 o'clock. You got about an hour before sundown.
We need to make a decision.
Anybody have any food, please? I'm so hungry. Please, I haven't eaten in days.
Ellie, we still have our rations, right? Everyone
You
each has their own rations.
No, we
So-
pulled everything.
No, it's a group thing.
Yeah, you pulled everything
Mhm.
together. But
Can we
he
just
looks as
give
bad
him-
as he looks like he looks like how Malin is kind of looking right now. This guy's rough, like sunken in, dehydrated.
We need to give him something. If we have just some water and just a small portion of rations, we can't let this person die.
Question: Does Ellie still have those mushrooms?
I'll leave that up to Ellie. Do you still have those mushrooms, Ellie?
I do. They're in my pack. Can I?
I like Morb.
I'm gonna walk up to Ellie. Can I see those mushrooms?
Yes. And I pull them out of my pack and open up the nap.
I'm gonna walk up to him like, we found these, but we couldn't tell if they're poison or not. Can you tell what they are?
No, don't know. I just started to. I literally. This is my first time out. I don't know. I don't know.
You can give him half of my ration. I can't really eat much anyway.
Well, and see, that's what Ellie was going to do, is give her portion of her rations to this person. That's why I said, because we each have, I mean, we all pulled together, but we still have 2 days worth, right?
You'll have to give up your ration. But yeah.
And that's what Ellie wants to do. She wants to give her ration to him with some water.
You want to do that?
I do. Ellie does. So she's
Okay.
going to kneel down in front of him and say, I'm so sorry that you're hungry and you've been out here for so long. And I want to sacrifice my food, but one day, it's not a lot. It's a day of food, and here's some water. And she gives it to him.
Thank you. Thank you. Like he devours it like ravenously. He just downs it. This guy hasn't eaten in days.
How do you feel?
A little better. Do you have any more? I'm sorry. I'm so hungry.
We're
I'm gonna look-
limited too.
While they're doing that, can I look at Smalls and say, you want to take the last guess and see where we're at? See what happens?
Sure. I mean, after all, I can take a hit. We should probably clear everybody back a little bit, though, just in case.
Lady, give him a second ration.
I didn't hear you.
Please put me down.
Ellie gives
What
him a
did you
second ration.
Yes,
You give him a second
Malin,
ration.
I will set you safely away before I do something dumb.
Ellie gives her his last ration.
Okay, so 2 rations. You guys want to take a second guess or a third guess?
So Smalls is gonna walk away, set Malin down a little ways away, suggest everybody else back up, walk up to the circle, and he had counted 19, so he'll guess 19. See what happens here.
As you're all looking and facing, you guess 19. You say it out loud, right?
Yep.
Nothing happens. Stones remain inanimate. Nothing moves. In fact, you almost feel as if something kind of like closed off. And Ellie, just as you finished handing that second ration, as this guy began to devour everything and just like hungrily, it's like he's starving, so hungry. You turn and you see Matty, or you see Smalls, sorry, say 19. You all look at the stones. Nothing happens. And then you look back. And right where the guy was sitting is another stone.
Whoa.
Oh. Oh.
And it dawns on Ellie, it dawns on you that your comprehend languages last for like 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
Gond is the Sylvan word for stone.
That was his name.
And he was
That's-
a stone.
So
So the
it's
correct answer was
wild.
1.
It's wild magic. We don't. I don't.
Shall we go now?
Yeah.
And that's where
We couldn't open the portal.
And that's where we're gonna end the session.
Missed opportunity to get a stone stoned. I mean.
I didn't miss the opportunity.
Talk
You
about a
crazy?
stoner.
Whatever number you guessed was +1.
Yeah, that was the next route of mathematics. Because Gond himself.
As soon as
is
you
a
said that, I
stone.
was like, I know it. It's +1 because he was there.
Yep. Damn. I wish I was more of a nerd and remember that Gond was for stone.
I got
That was a good
distracted
puzzle.
and I
Good
totally
puzzle,
thought it
Marshall.
was a play on Gondor calling for aid.
But why would Ellie not have known that? Because it's Sylvan. She speaks Sylvan.
Did
Well,
you
I
roll
mean,
an
it's
insight? It's like you didn't think about it in the moment. It's part of the riddle.
It is. But it's like
The riddle
stone.
wouldn't be
I didn't
given to you that way.
know. I know. It's like
What was the what was the one unconstant, unchanging thing every time you counted the stones?
His name.
it was
him.
It was
Yeah.
always there.
However,
That was a really good puzzle,
the
Marshall.
cook has
I like it.
noted that you have given 2 rations to this rock.
Yes,
2
I have.
rations. You need to reduce 2 rations from your total stuff.
Well, no, they're my rations. I gave them, so
So,
I will go.
I think what we'll do for the rations, just as a group, we collectively delete all the rations out of everyone's inventory and put them all
Yeah.
into one person's inventory. Because effectively, what you did, Xena or Sherry, is you reduced your rations to 0. You only had 2 days left,
Right.
and so you would have reduced all your rations to 0.
So
Right,
Sherry
so,
gets to go hungry for a couple of days.
Yeah, right. That's my whole thing was that I was willing to sacrifice my rations for this hungry person.
You guys
And
are so nice.
I
Yeah.
can fast
Well,
for
no,
2 days.
see, they're
Well,
nice.
Ellie's
I'm
nice.
the cook who noticed this and doesn't eat. So the cook
You guys are
might be
so
a
nice.
dick.
But I wasn't trying to take it from Ellie wasn't trying to take it from the group. She was taking it and would go without rations for 2 days if this guy could eat.
Yeah, and that's
That's basically
more
her
so if
thought
we
process.
have to. If we manage to acquire some form of edible food, maybe you
Right,
won't have to
right.
suffer.
Right, but see, nobody knows Ellie. You don't know how she, I mean, does she go without food? Has she gone without food for a while? Has she given
You've,
up
So,
for someone else?
you've eaten the last 2 days, so obviously you eat.
Yeah,
but
but the thing is she's a wildling.
So
She's out in the forest. She's been out in the forest.
and she
And
came back
what?
with poisonous mushrooms.
That still needs food and doesn't know.
You're not a-
Yeah.
you're not a hunter.
But technically,
We've
are
est-
they poison?
We've
Oh
established
man,
this.
They're
those are some
Schrödinger's mushrooms.
stones. Oh
Okay,
goodness.
who has Maddie's crap, huh?
Malin, I
Couldn't take
believe,
it.
has your booze and other valuables that were not just basic gear that couldn't be easily replaced.
I have the important things.
Oh,
I
The
should,
He
I
was
should have said I
alone. He
kicked
could
half-peg
have.
Maddie's stuff because it
is
was just
in
crap left
Mark's
over.
inventory, along with the badass beast mask, because I feel like he'll get more use out of it than I will. I'm not gonna lie here.
Not
All
gonna,
right,
I'm
night
almost gonna
guys.
say
I gotta go
I'm also-
spend some time with my kids or my
yes,
grandkids.
get off with the
Love
grandkids.
Go have fun.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
All
Can I
necessary
can I
ways
point
to
out just a point something that I just realized that's pretty comical in my book,
Huh?
Sure.
and Marshall on a little and Marshall on a little bit inconsistent, which none of us caught anyway.
What's up?
So we can't carry 2 packs because they're too heavy, correct?
Yeah, essentially. I'm just saying you couldn't carry like haul away everything because it's too heavy. Yeah.
Right. But Malin has her own pack, and she put some of Marshall's or Matt's stuff in there, correct?
Yeah.
And I was carrying Malin, yes?
Yeah. You have the highest strength score.
Right. Who was carrying Malin's pack? Malin.
Yeah.
So I was carrying my pack, Malin, and her pack. So not only was I carrying 2 packs, but I was carrying a person with it.
dude, you're
Yeah.
the pack master.
That's true.
Apparently.
You can carry like
Your
1,000 pounds.
title
Like
is now Pack
You
Mule.
are.
I would also say that I would also say that you guys aren't going to haul a bunch of useless shit out like drums,
Yeah.
like smithing equipment. Like, who gives a fuck? We're not going to haul
Right.
that out.
I guess my
All
point
in
is,
these switches.
my point is the next time if we have to grab a spare pack that's full of shit, smalls should be allowed to carry it because per this.
Okay.
No, you have to
Okay.
carry the
I
first
think
in your
too,
back.
part of it is weight because I'm on the front, your pack's on the back. So it's not like everything is
Where's
on
your
your
pack,
back.
though?
Yeah, I would
would
say
also be-
because you have an 18 score strength and strength score. I forget what it was. I think you can carry like 500 pounds or 600 additional pounds right now. You can carry quite a bit. You're a big beefy fucking boy.
Yeah,
So,
he can carry
yeah,
twice his regular.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like technically, yeah, you'd have no problem. But like I said, we just did that for the sake of expediency with the story. It's like, yeah, we have limited space. We're gonna get the fuck out of here. We're not gonna hold this smithing.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I just, I literally just occurred to me as
Yeah,
we were
and
having this BS conversation.
So
Oh, sure, you're good. You're good.